and giveaways?
Yeah, it's a very interesting thing. The most interesting aspect of doing giveaways is that the content you get from doing the giveaways is much more interesting than the actual giveaway itself. I've done live and recorded, and just pictures of them, so post about them. I've done all of these. They're all great. They're all fun. The most interesting, though, the most challenging is definitely live. First thing you're going to realize is that a lot of the things where people give away things in YouTube videos and stuff like that are highly edited. I'd even go as far as to say that they are set up and they have the recipients already planned out ahead of time, because it was very challenging. Videos, so for example, like that are highly edited. One day on a whim, I decided I'm going to go give as far as to say that they are set up and they have the recipients already planned out ahead of time, because it was very challenging. So for example, one day on a whim, I decided I'm going to go give random people gas money. So I wanted to just give it to people who were in need. So my idea was to look for someone who needed it, who wasn't using a credit card, who did not have a nice car. And it took me a long time to wait for it. It would not be feasible to do it as a live stream because it takes you so long to even find somebody. And when you do start approaching people, they're very suspicious in general for the most part. So it's not as easy as you think, but it is really cool. It's really fun. It ends up giving you all kinds of great content. So I do encourage you to try it. Go ahead and just do it. Whatever kind of ideas you have, just go out there and try it. One other challenge I had was trying to give away some gift cards. So I went to Walmart to buy some gift cards, and they wouldn't let me buy multiple gift cards because they protect people from being scammed. A lot of scammers go tell you to go buy a bunch of gift cards, and I almost got the police called on me at Walmart for trying to buy gift cards. So I had to switch gears. So be ready to change your plans. Have a general outline of your plan, but be ready to stay on your toes, because you're going to get things thrown your way that are big surprises you did not expect. So yeah, I just switch gears and go give away cash at a nearby store after the Walmart thing happened. But yeah, I got lots of experience on this. I could share more about it, but I'll go ahead.
Travis, I would guess it's even a bigger hurdle when you're going to give somebody something and then you're trying to film them simultaneously. How do you help people get over the hurdle of, I want to give you something, and also, hey, by the way, I'm gonna put you on social media?
Yeah, so what I did was I kept the camera trained on myself to respect the privacy of the other people. And as you're interacting with them, you'll find about 50-50 as far as people being willing to be on camera. So you just ask them, just say, are you cool if I record you? And then say, hey, you want to shout out to my friends on X? And you'll get, in my experience, you'll get about 50-50. So yeah, just respect other people's privacy. And what I've done is keep the camera trained on myself until I ask for permission, just out of respect. And I believe that all these other shows, they get people to sign waivers and stuff like that. It's not as simple as you think. But yeah, just go out there and try it. Just ain't nothing to it but to do it.
What's your main motivation in doing that?
I just like to help people and um, random acts of kindness. I do this in honor of my niece who passed away 3 years ago. She was a really kind soul. She would just do random nice things, like if she saw kids that had a lemonade stand, she would make sure to stop there and buy some. Even so, I just, in memory of my niece, I like to do random acts of kindness. And another thing that this actually turned into is I got a lot of recognition here on X from doing that. And the guy who started TED Talks, Chris Anderson, he actually did a giveaway of 10 Apple Vision Pros about 6 months back. And I was nominated and I won an Apple Vision Pro just for doing random acts of kindness. And I never thought that, I never started out to get any recognition or whatever. I just wanted to do random nice things. And it's really cool how it gave me a lot of fulfillment in life. And it's really awesome. It turned into this great thing. Yeah, so that's it.
Awesome. Hey, thanks, Travis. And let's go to G.Lo real quick and take some hands, and love to hear from you other folks. How do you do your live streams, your spaces? Have you considered giveaways? If you have, what are your thoughts? If you've not considered it, why not? So G.Lo, take it away. What are your thoughts on it?
If it's okay, Dr. Heath, I want to just share some foundational elements for those that may not understand the types of giveaways. It might take a minute or two. First and foremost, I posted in the Jumbotron just some ideas of things that I've done in the past, and I'm doing it actually with Waylon and some of our moderators for our live stream community page. A lot of people may not know, like, and Travis brought up a great example. And before I forget, I do have what I call an independent contractor agreement, which covers NDAs. It also covers expectations and considerations for compensation. So the reason why I do that, it's primarily for my podcasting. So if I have a guest, I have them sign the form, and it just lets them know what the expectations are, what I'm going to compensate them for. I always have them sign it, and if they don't agree to it, that's fine, and then we just make amendments if we have to. In my opinion, that should include giveaways, because if you use any promotional materials on video, you use their names on any type of material, they can come back and say, hey, you said you was going to give me this or that. And if, like, for example, we're giving away tripods, right? So what I don't want is for someone to say, hey, you said you was going to give us a percentage of this or that. You're getting views or whatever. It could be anything, right? So, and then so to move on in the types of giveaways, a lot of people will ask, but what are they? And I always tell them that number one, it's momentum builders. Number two, it's milestone markers, which Waylon is good about explaining the milestone markers. They are community solidifiers, meaning they help your community. It creates a FOMO effect. For those that don't know what FOMO effect, it's like fear of missing out, right? So it gets people to be more active in your community, potentially, not always. The other one, the last point I bring up, is that it's a great resource for businesses. And whether it's a corporate or a mom and pop, or maybe it's a collaborator here on X, it's a great way for people to collaborate. And there's two types of giveaways, right? You can do products or services. I've done services in the past where I teamed up with a photographer, and I would do a contest and say, hey, if you win this is what you get. There's one giveaway we did. It was a $300 giveaway. The company that I posted in the Jumbotron, that company has given us a total of about $35,000 worth of giveaways over the past, let's say at least 5 years. So it's part of their advertising budget. And so if I was to encourage anybody that's considering doing a giveaway, never do it as a primary reason to get people to watch you or to jump in on something. I mean, you can. I've done that before. Waylon can attest to that. We've done it before, but it's really taxing if it's coming out of your own pocket. Some other engagement factors, I would say pay to play, meaning it's kind of like a lottery ticket. That lottery ticket mindset, people can make some kind of investment into it, and it'll attach them to your whatever event you're doing, whether it's a live stream, a spaces. Some of the things that I require people to do is repost, follow, share, invites, all those things. And there's different websites that you can use to draw a winner, or you can do how Waylon used to do it. We have software that can pull out a winner. I kind of like doing an old school, rip the papers into a bucket and pull the name out live where people can see, because it's organic looking. With the electronics today, it's nice to have some paper, right? And it's all to get them to participate. I'm almost done here. And is have the companies use their advertising budget for giveaways, because they've got the money. So if anybody clicks on our profile, there's 5 companies that I've been blessed to work with, and they and I ain't gonna lie, I get paid just to promote products. Now I don't get paid a lot, but I have right now 6 companies. Okay, so, and the reason why I do that is I tell them, hey, this is what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to promote your products, every podcast, social media, and that is I ask them, hey, can you sponsor some giveaways? And they say, yeah, how much do you need? And sometimes they ship to foreign countries. It just depends on the products, and it depends on customs too. So last one, I won't go into how to secure those companies. I think that's a different subject, but it all goes to what type of giveaways you're going to do. Is it a product or is it a service? Are you going to pay for it yourself, which is fine. In regards to what Travis was bringing up, I would strongly stress on creating I call it an independent contractor agreement, which includes NDAs, considerations for compensation, obviously non-disclosures, just so that it's clear that when you give somebody something, that's exactly what you're giving them and nothing else, unless you make an agreement and you can make those amendments, right? So that's great. I'm here to share the corporate side of it, so people can understand, hey, there are companies that are willing to spend money on you, especially people like Nancy. She's got a huge following, right? A company would be like, yeah, we'll sponsor something. If they spend that money on me and our team, and with our company Egg Drop. That's our company Egg Drop with Archon. That's Joey. He's the guy with the glasses and the photos. So if they're willing to spend that money on us, and we're small time, there's a lot of huge creators in here that companies would love. They'll salivate just to be a participant in a giveaway. And I'll shut down at this last statement is I always say, family, if you're going to do a giveaway, use it as a way to grow your community, not to get them to like you or to be in attendance. Attendance comes and goes, but your community stay. So that's what I'll encourage. I'll shut up at that. Thank you, Dr. Heath.
Well, no, thank you very much, Sheila. Appreciate that. There's a couple of things. One is sponsorships, which I'm very averse to that. I've had lots of people say, "Hey, we're going to sponsor you," but then I get to thinking, but what I do has nothing to do with what you're trying to sell. And so I guess there's kind of an ick factor for me is that there's so much icky stuff on social media. Everything just gets to be too salesy, for my taste. So personally, what are your thoughts on that? And how do you stay away from the kind of the ick factor of
That,
being too salesy?
that's a great point because I feel like that personally, right? So if you look at my partners, none of my partners are any products or services that I don't use or don't agree with. Okay, so one of my sponsors and partners is a psychologist. So she offers remote services. So because she's based in Nevada and in Hawaii, it's Dr. Terry Lynn Kim. Another sponsor and a product that I always promote are 5 and 7 Tactical Solutions. He's a police officer. I've got my firearms training through him. I believe in that. And I believe that my listeners and followers know me well enough that if I push that on them, that they'll appreciate that. The other things I promote, Dubby energy drinks. I personally believe in it. I also One Shot Energy. They're a company that provides voice drops. I think voice drops are a need in what we're doing right now. And so now there's a strategic time to do it. I'm not going to sit here and interrupt your space in a minute. Hey, and by the way, this episode is brought to you by, I'm not going to do that. Now, if people make a commitment to listen to my podcast, which is on average about 2 to 3 hours, I think they're going to be okay fast forwarding through a minute commercial if they don't want to listen to it. And so, but to answer your question, I would say if it doesn't align with what you do, then don't partner up with them. Even if they give you money, I've had a company, and I didn't make any money with them, but they offered me some services and products. And part of my agreement was, hey, I'll promote you and I'll push sales. I didn't make any money with them at all, not $1. And yet they were willing to, sponsor certain things. Now, just to be clear, now sponsorships and partnerships are not the same thing. Okay, and also affiliates. So people don't know to be an affiliate, anybody can be an affiliate. You can call them, hey, I want to buy your products at a discount. I want to offer a discount to my customers or to my following. Partners are a little bit different, and sponsorships are where they actually give you money to product placement or to talk about it or do a review. So if you notice a lot of people that say, hey, this episode is sponsored by, then that means they got paid for it, which means the opinions may not be completely what's the word? Non-partial. It might be biased, if you will. So that's a long answer to that, Dr. Heath. I hope that answers your
Well, that,
question.
that does. And I'd like to get everybody else's feedback on this. I have one more, and we're going to go to some hands. Please, yeah, just shoot your hand up there. And love to hear from you guys, especially some of your more experienced space hosts and podcasters. But I started hearing about affiliate agreements probably about 2 years ago. And a big guy in the podcasting space is Pat Flynn. And I really respect what Pat does because his principle on it is if you're going to have an affiliate agreement, say I have an affiliate agreement, don't hawk a product and the people don't know that, hey, by the way, if you buy this product, I'm going to get paid because you buy this product. And so what Pat does is, here's ABC Crunch and Munch or whatever. It's great stuff. By the way, I do have an affiliate agreement with them. It's not going to cost you any more money to buy it through, to buy it because you saw it on this podcast. And Pat has a really clever way of pointing that out that I can't recall right now, but he will let people know that yes, he has an affiliate agreement. Number two, He does make money when they purchase the product, using the link that he provides, but that does not increase their price. And so he believes in being very, very transparent with that, where I see a lot of people don't. I don't know. What are your thoughts about that? G.Lo or Waylon, either one. Yeah, it seems like that you do a lot of product type stuff, and I'm just kind of wondering, how are you transparent with, you do have an affiliate agreement with XYZ company, and yes, you get paid or you get a cut or whatever, but then also it doesn't increase the customer's price to click on your link.
I can answer that directly, actually, with the pricing. So when people go on to whatever I promote, I'll give you a perfect example. Hey, family, if you want to buy this Archon mount and you missed out on a giveaway, you can go to my website, whatever, go to archon.com, use my promo code Hawaii, and you'll get 20% off your entire order. So because I've been with them for a while, I can ask them to give my customers 30% off, right? Or I can give them 20. I think 20 is fair. Most companies give 10% off. And for people that don't know that this space, like if you give someone 20% off, the company will give you a percentage of whatever is the difference. Okay. So some companies are flexible and some are not. And I'm honest with my customer, like not just customers, I'm honest with my following. I tell them, look, and most people can appreciate this, Dr. Heath. Like they can appreciate someone doing the hustle out there to provide a community, or hey, if Dr. Heath is giving you some amazing tips and tricks for your life, yeah, I'll buy some products for him to support him and his family, because this is generational wealth, family, right? I mean, you think about it, you're making money when you're sleeping. As long as you're providing something that's of value and you're honest about, like, I'll tell people, hey, look, if you buy products, I ain't gonna lie, when I make money. So thank you. I really appreciate you guys buying products. You don't have to buy a t-shirt from a website, but I appreciate that. And my kids, and I tell them my kids do too, because the more you buy, the more we can take trips and take a vacation. I'm honest about that. Like if you buy a bunch of stuff, bro, we're gonna have a good time. And you know what? You're having a good product in your home too. So be honest. That's what I'll say. Just be honest about that and give them value, right?
And by the way, Gilo, let me go ahead and kind of share the motivation behind this particular space today. We do this every Saturday. Every other Saturday, it's to practice speaking, and we have a small space, and that's a good thing because we have people that don't really have experience speaking in big spaces. And so we do that every other Saturday. Every other Saturday, so it's one on, one off. So every other Saturday we do a more of a didactic, more of a training thing. And so the motivation behind this was something that Waylon and Gilo said about giveaways, but also because monetization for Spaces Host is here. There was monetization for accounts, and how well that's going is kind of up for grabs. It doesn't seem like maybe it's going all that well, but I believe that you guys that get out there and instead of going to the bar, instead of going to play, whatever horseshoes, or instead of just vegging out in front of Netflix, you actually get on Spaces. You spend a lot of time designing value to improve people's lives. Then, yeah, I think that you should get paid for that. And I think that the more the more that payment is available, the better content we'll have. And the better content we have, the healthier people will have. And so that's kind of the motive behind what we're doing today, because I think if you're going to do, man, I mean, what Travis does, and I'm not, it's not the Travis show, but like a lot of people, I'm just blown away with the value that Travis brings. I mean, I looked up and here's this guy. that, I mean, you might see him on FBI's Most Wanted or something, but he's actually out here doing good things and paying it forward. And I thought, wow, man, what a crazy thing to be doing. And he's just doing it out of the goodness of his heart. And so I just love seeing that. And that's why we're having this space. So Honey Badger's been here for a long time, very patient. Let's go to Honey Badger, Sega, and then Josh.
Good morning, everybody. I hope you're having a nice Saturday. So, I had never considered doing giveaways at all. Part of the reason is because, and I think G.Lo sort of brought it up, uh, that, you know, I don't see the value in it in so much as, I'm trying to build my following and I'm trying to bring more eyes to my spaces by the value they're in. Now, and one thing this isn't funny. I mean, it's sad. I'm bummed for the person, but a friend of mine does trivia spaces, and they're great. And so then he started to give away prizes, right? Well, the problem with that then is that people would show up to the space and nobody would share out the space. Like they didn't want anybody else in the space because they wanted to win the prize, you know? And so the same people that kept on showing. I'm not laughing, which is ironic, right? Because he was doing something very nice. Um, but so the thing that I would say, and again, I'm not really I haven't really focused on monetizing in that direction at all yet. Because I think the first thing that's important is to build, like you said, build value into your brand or your spaces. And so I took a very, very targeted topic, which is not everybody's cup of tea, of course. But it's a book by C.S. Lewis, and it's called The Screw Tape Letters. Excuse me. And we've been doing a series on the letters. My friend Will, who has a fabulous British accent, is reading the letters, and then we're dialoguing about them. And I I invite everybody to come speak, but I think that they just like listening to the dialogue between the panel, the four of us, because I'm blessed with some brilliant co-hosts and just brilliant people in that on that panel, and their thoughts are really profound. So then I started to make them video spaces. Okay, so I went from the content to then the visual about it, and so now they can see us talking about it, and which is kind of cool. And then finally, okay, so now with that, I have this one thing, this one, series that I'm doing. And I certainly still co-host all the time, for various people and stuff. I but I've but because I was doing video spaces, and I think that I've been one of the only people that consistently has done video spaces, correct me if I'm wrong, but also to marry that with something that's completely different than politics or pop culture, to really like kind of do something that is basically, in my opinion, is like a master class on C.S. Lewis in a lot of ways, because like Will's an Oxford professor. He's an Oxford theologian. But so it's kind of like intrinsic in that nature. So now as I've given that, what I'm working on, what it's helped me with is sort of how do you put it, credibility, I think. And like, not that I didn't have credibility prior to that, but I guess what I'm saying is that what's the word I'm looking for? What's the word? I guess credibility is the only way I could, because this person knows something. This person is looking to, enrich this platform in a totally different way, and it's really interesting. If you're kind of, if you're so inclined to, to learn something, or perhaps revisit something because it's a famous book or whatever. And so then finally, and I'm sorry to talk for so long, Dr. Heath. But then finally, I just I've done that to say this, now that I have subs, all of that I've done behind, all of that work I've done, I'm going to make exclusive to my subspaces, right? so my video spaces will now be sub only spaces, for example, or if it's if it's a topic of converse, if one of my subs needs a co-host or help, I'll be their girl, and I'll lead the, I'll bring people to the platform and I'll help them work out you know their kinks, especially if they're a little bit nervous, and so these are the things that that I'm working on. It just, again, I mean, I was kind of taken aback by the things that G.Lo was saying, because it's good information, I guess, there's a lot of ways to monetize, but I haven't tried. So thank you so much, Dr. Heath.
Well, no, I'm really fascinated at what you're doing there, and of course, I love C.S. Lewis, but I haven't had a chance to hop on those, unfortunately. But I do have a question for you. It may just be me, but it seems like the video spaces don't get that much traction, even from big accounts. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, it's only me, right? So when you consider that it's just me, talking about a subject and just bringing people up to talk, I've gotten, so for example, and they're short, like I do like an hour and a half. Um, so like they're around 400, but also mine are late at night. I don't know. For me, they've worked out great, because it's not it I mean, it depends on what you're looking for too, I think. I want to talk to my friends that are on the platform, and they show up and we chat and we have a good time. But then the ones that I've done on serious basis, like the GameStop, the American retail stock space, which I know not everybody's into, but those were actually big. I did one myself with a couple of the apes, and then I did one. I, I had Mary Tiles Texas as my co-host, and she's wonderful. And but yeah, when Roaring, she was getting a lot of guff about Roaring Kitty coming back and stuff, and like he wasn't going to or whatever. And she defended him, and so I kind of did a space to, like, call out the Bitcoin people that were being mean to her. But it was all in good fun, and stuff like that. But that one was big. So I don't know. I mean, for me, um, I, they've been great.
Oh, cool.
I don't know about anybody else.
Maybe it was early days. Maybe I think people on X just have to get used to video spaces, and a lot of people just aren't used to them. And I'm thinking that maybe there's some thinking that if I join a video space, I'm going to be on video. And a lot of people are just really horrified at the
Yeah,
being on video.
I
When you do,
make sure I make sure and clarify. You're right, because I make sure and clarify that this just means that the host and the co-host, if they choose, will be on video, not the audio. Yes.
yeah, people get freaked out with that. Say you've been waiting for a long time, go right ahead. Then we'll go to Diligent, or actually, we'll go to Josh, then Diligent. Go ahead, Sega. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Heath, G.Lo, Waylon, Honorable Joy, everyone. I salute you. Yeah, giveaways. It's interesting that sometimes when you gather people, you may want to give them something back for the time and energy they spend around you. When Jesus Christ gathered people at the mount, he felt the need to feed them, and a miracle had to happen for that to, materialize. And usually for me, when I run spaces or I make tweets or I do stuff, I'm not just doing it because everybody's doing it or because I have the numbers waiting to get something from me. So what I do is I look for gaps to bridge. For example, I may see a value in bringing people who you would naturally not find on spaces to spaces. For example, there are governors, and there are, for example, there are ministers, for example, there are presidential initiative drivers who you will never find on spaces or you will never find talking to the press at any given time. But because they respect me and they respect the advocacy that I've run consistently for years and my name and my brand, they'll be willing to come and talk to me and have a conversation, a meaningful one that could actually bridge institutional gaps. So when they come like that, I used to have, thousands of people turning up, a lot of people wanting to place ads, wanting to say, can you just, by the way, mention this while you're doing your spaces because of the kind of, and I keep telling them, no, I don't see people as statistics. I don't see them as an opportunity to sell. I don't sell anything to people. But if it's a value added initiative, I may consider it. And over time, before now, I've done been able to create value out of bringing something that we do not have in Africa to Africa. For example, in the UK, every month I get credits from my bank. I get something back. But in Nigeria, we get something out of our account, every month for maintenance charges and the rest. So I got talking to a few friends in the fintech sector and said, look, what can we put together that can actually give people something back to the people? They found it interesting. They created something and we floated something, a platform. And that platform, rather than for me to say, okay, use my affiliate, you get this, I get this in return for every time you do this. No, I said, let everybody make money from this platform. And it worked. And in less than a year, we had over 100,000 subscribers on that platform, all of them having value. And nobody is going to care about how much it came to Sega from that, because everybody is making money and they can see value from it. And before I introduced them to that platform, I made it clear that we are solving a problem with this. I defined the problem. I looked for a solution. I partnered with people. We rolled it out. I used it for a while and then I introduced it to them, not as a marketing thing, but as this is my experience on this platform. This was my experience in banking in Nigeria. This was my experience in banking in the UK. This is what I get, and this is how we've been able to bridge the gap. And that was as simple as that. So that value for me makes people want to be a part of something without feeling used, without feeling that they are pawns in a scheme. And that's what I just want to add. So rather than also in my current spaces where I bring in superstars or governors or all these people to talk to people, to engage with people they will not naturally not meet, the value add is in multiple layers. One, there are people who get placements. You get to talk to CEOs that you never will have met without meeting them on MySpace. You also get to have an appointment with people. You also get to speak to them and let them know how you feel or what you think, you know, in about that sector. Also, there are people who we go away with maybe funding for whatever project that they have to do. And there are some people who get to know things that they generally will not know if they are reading the papers. So these are some of the ways in which I give back to my community. I just thought I'd share. Thank you, Dr. Heath.
Vega, thank you so much. Yeah, and that really strikes me that we should think outside the box. You know, there are some standard giveaways that you can do, but think outside the box. So let's quickly go to Josh, and then we'll go to Diligent and Lulu. But Josh, what are you doing here? I thought that you had house guests.
I do. Hello, Dr. Heath. What's up, G.Lo? Waylon, what's up, Battle? Hello, Travis, Diligent, Sega, Honey Badger. You guys are all awesome, and you guys are all
That was not me muting everybody, Josh. That was not me, I promise.
No simping on the stage, apparently.
Oh boy. See, this is what happens when you have co-hosts and you don't vet them properly. So these guys are
I'm
fired.
so sorry. I have 5 thumbs. I'm so sorry.
G.Lo's fired, but he's got the pastor gig going, so he'll make it. He'll be okay. He won't be homeless. He can live in the church. Josh, go ahead.
I love it because I fat finger all the time, especially being the host. And I'm like, I accidentally muted everybody, and I just wanted to do like a response or add somebody to the stage. They're right there next to each other. So, anyways, try to land my plane really fast here. It's
Oh,
good
you
to
haven't
see
even taken off yet.
well, yeah, the engine's fired. Let's climb. So so this is an interesting topic. I was trying to feel out the room and just feel the vibe where you guys were going, because I missed the first 15 minutes or so of the conversation. And when I came in, you guys were talking about giveaways and stuff like that. But actually, I was trying to digest and figure out what my own thoughts were on this topic. And so Christina ironically asked me the other day, my wifey, she asked me, she's like, Josh, why don't you monetize? She's like, you're all over the place. You're showing up and networking and all that stuff. And I told her, I'm like, honey, I really don't want to monetize. I could, but I don't want to. And I'll state why. So I'm a Christian man. I tithe, monetarily, I tithe. And my time is also a tithe. I try to give 10% of my time giving back to others. And I don't want to get paid for it. But what I found that is one of my skill sets and a blessing is that I'm able to like network. So me coming into the space today and just grabbing a mic, or Honey Badger coming in that just grabs a mic just to come in and support, or G.Lo or Dr. Heath, you just come in, grab a mic, even if you don't have a share, you're helping your fellow brethren and sisters out. Just grabbing a mic, because if somebody sees that I'm speaking in a space, they might hop into a space. So for those of you that are monetized and looking to create whatever content and share and do things, it's important for me to come in and just grab a microphone. And
How
maybe
about
there'll be
now?
one or two others that just
Can you hear
happen
me
to
now,
wander
Steve-O?
in that would never have even known that the space was happening or meet an individual. But networking, that's my big thing. I've met multimillionaires and hooked them up with small business owners, creating opportunity, connecting other
That's better. Steve-O,
fellow
come up.
people in
Ask
different
to
things.
hit
My
that
thing is
request button
networking,
to
and
talk.
that's
You
all I
know
want
about
to do.
giveaways,
I come
man.
in here, I'm not the most articulated. I don't have any degrees or anything like that would be
Come
super
up on
beneficial
screen
to
and
most
get
of
in
the
the
conversations
space.
that I participate in. But I come in to just like network with people and connect people. G.Lo just did a
Thanks,
podcast
Sean.
with my wifey, and it was an awesome podcast. And G.Lo's doing his thing, and I want to help share and spread that news. Even the wifey, she's an author. She's got a book. She's semi monetized. But to be honest, the giveaways. If somebody asked Christina for a copy of her book, she's got so many like free copies of whether paperback, whether it be audiobook or whatever. But the purpose isn't to like sell her book. She's like, I don't care. I don't want to make any money. I just want to help people. And so she doesn't care. She'd give every book and copy away as long as it helps somebody, and pass it on. But anyways, yeah, I'll land my plane here now.
Well,
Since we've
Josh, just a real quick, I mean, I'm just big at brainstorming. So as you're talking, what I'm thinking is why not help people have fun with Christina's book and gamify it? Have a game and do a riddle, do a top 10 list from the book, gamify the heck out of it and say, come on here, and a winner is going to get a book. Somebody else is going to get a signed book. Somebody else is going to get, I don't know, a picture with Christina photoshopped together, something, some type of AI creation or something like that. And so I think that you could make reading Christina's book just a heck of a lot more fun. So just some thoughts about that. G.Lo, you had a quick follow up, then we'll go to Diligent and Lilu.
Yeah, I agree. Gamify it. And it's a great book. I didn't read the whole thing. It's a great book. Like the first couple of chapters, so if you think it's a great book and someone can get value from it, gamify it and bless somebody. But in the middle of blessing somebody, require other people to pay for it. And the reason why I say that is nothing is free. We have this misconception that nothing is free. So yeah, I agree with that. And just before I hand it over, is everything we're talking about, family, is a way that we can control how we monetize ourselves, rather than waiting for a social platform to give us a percentage. And so, just as a close it out, like for what I said, yeah, I agree with gamify it and be a blessing, but also require other people to purchase the product, and that's one way to build sales, but also provide a service or product. So.
Thanks, G.Lo. I appreciate that. And I had almost forgotten that I saw Diligent do his own giveaway at a political rally, and that just fascinated me. So I'm just really anxious to hear you talk about, Dilly, how that went for you with I think you had T-shirts and caps.
Yeah, I've done that a few different times for for the project that sponsors me, and it went over really well. I mean, I'm giving out MAGA hats at a Trump rally. Very popular. If you want to be the most popular guy in line, give away free MAGA hats, especially high quality ones. It's very well received. I actually requested to speak to the video spaces. I've been very hypercritical of video spaces since the announcement that Eric's got a hot mic.
Thanks, Eric.
I've been very critical. I was very critical of video spaces when they came out because I think video is not going to kill the radio star. But contrary to my prior position, now that I've done spaces on the ground, I'm not a big fan of the selfie facing video spaces. I still am not. I think that personally, for your if you want to personally engage with your audience, they work well for like what Honey Badger is talking about doing. But the front facing camera video spaces, I absolutely think that's going to be a game changer when it comes to engaging with a broader audience on the ground at the scene of big events. Now, right now, network constrictions and on both the back end and the front end of spaces, on the client side, if the host has a bad internet service, that provides some issues. Being indoors where there's a lot of network traffic causes issues. But when you're outside and you can interview people on the ground who are also experiencing whatever event it is, and engage with your audience and ask questions from the audience to the people. I don't think there's ever been anything like that in media. So I think that that aspect of it is potentially going to be huge, and you're definitely going to see me doing more types of content like that. I'm going to be doing more forward facing video spaces where I can it's like everybody in the space is seeing what you're seeing in real time, right? And can direct you where you want them to go, what you want them to ask. And so it's like an interactive, television or news experience, except for the audience is really kind of driving what's happening, choose your own adventure type deal. So I feel like that is an untapped reservoir of content that we're going to see opening up here real soon. Especially, I think that they're going to do a video space with Trump and Elon on Monday. And if that goes smoothly, spaces are going to blow up in a way that you've never even imagined, I think.
Oh, that's going to be a video space.
Most likely.
Holy crap! I did
They've
not
been
know.
testing the crap out of it, Dr. Heath. If you look at they're all from the accounts from Palo Alto, and they're testing it up to. I think they got up to. It was
49
way over.
million.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say it was almost 50 million.
Holy crap!
Yeah, and another thing about that. So for example, Vivek did a video space a while back. Just a question and answer sort of a thing. And it was great. It was awesome. And I got to ask him a question even, which was pretty dope. But yeah, just it was very much more personal with he and his campaign manager at the time. And I mean, yeah, people flooded it. It was good.
Thank you for the applause. I didn't do that either. Okay. Man, you
Wow,
guys.
Steve-O, you
So that's fascinating, Honey Badger and Dilly. And G.Lo, you've been part of my bike ride live streams or video spaces. I just do just for the heck of it. Just and it doesn't seem to work all that well because, like Dilly said, the feed is always cutting out. It'll just freeze. It'll stop. The space will drop. And I'm at literally the highest point in my county. And there's a cell phone tower, line of sight cell phone tower. And I still have glitchy video spaces. It's the front facing, like Diligent's talking about. Diligent, go ahead.
So I ordered a Starlink Mini to solve for that. So Starlink just put out a what they call a Starlink Mini Roam, and it is about the size of a a 5 subject notebook, and it is so that you can have high speed bandwidth pretty much anywhere in the United States if you can see the sky. So that's how I'm going to solve for that. So like when I'm traveling now, I'm going to be bringing that with me, and like a huge one of those bigger portable power block generators, you know, that can run it for like a day straight if I need. That's going to be my go-to pack now. I'm going to have that with me everywhere.
Hey, Dr. Heath, if I can add to what you were talking about, diligent. So anybody that doesn't have Starlink, if you don't have Ookla installed on your phone, it's a speed test by Ookla. It's Ookla. And just to be clear, when you're doing video, you have to have a decent upload speed. The download speed literally means nothing as a broadcaster if you're going to broadcast video. Another thing what Dr. Heath was talking about, and by the way, he's a great bike rider. I don't care what everybody says about him, but if you're on a mobile application, you got to remember if your phone is jostling back and forth, you got to keep that in mind too, that it does affect your phone's performance when you're. That's why having good mounting but to go back to the speed test, do a speed test before you go live. Make sure that your upload speed is, I would say, at a minimum 5 megabytes upload. If it's not even that, you can pretty much expect to be glitches, and you can blame it on Twitter. Just don't tell everybody you have a bad internet speed, but blame it on Twitter, X. But yeah, download Ookla, Ookla. They are the best speed test, and you can choose the server that you're going to test from. Meaning, if you're in Washington, you can make sure you get a West Coast, and et cetera, et cetera. So that'll help you guys get a really good video feed, no matter where you're at. Now, Dillinger brought up a great point. If you're going to be at a public event, like I went to a concert to broadcast, and I could not get through because you got 20 to 30,000 people on their phone doing the same thing you're doing. So keep that in mind too.
That's a great point also. But here, I'm not a phone tech guy, and there's been a few people give me recommendations. I've deployed them with some limited measures of success, and I don't know the validity of these because I'm a psychology guy, not a tech guy. So here's the thing: is I've had people tell me switch it off of 5G to some other setting. I mean, what's the optimal setting? Don't do that, diligence says. So what do you do? What do you put the setting on?
It depends who your network is, first of all. So Verizon has 5G ultra wideband, which gives you. So if I'm in Vegas, I'll get 1.8 gigs, which is unbelievable. You don't even get that in your home. So it depends on the service. So to understand,
Download or upload?
that's just download. Now the upload would be about 90 to 100 if you're in Vegas. If you have Verizon UW 5G. Now the concept of 5G is that they give you the fastest speed possible because they want you in and out of the network. So from a techie standpoint, that does kind of make sense to switch to a different network where there's less traffic, if that makes any sense. So it's potential. While everybody's on a 5G superhighway, nobody's on a 4G. So you can test. I don't know if that's true. I haven't tested it, but I kind of agree with that to some extent.
Well, so I'm on a Apple with AT&T, and I can do 5G, and then I think there's an edge setting, and I don't know the difference between those two or the benefits of either. But I found sometimes if I'll toggle to the less fast setting, that I actually get better connectivity if I'm not shooting for the stars with 5G. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, it depends. Like if you're like diligent and you're in a heavily populated location, yeah, test it out because that means everybody is probably on the fastest network possible, not realizing that if they just jump on the back roads, if you will, right? Everybody knows the back roads are faster than the highway, so that's the concept of that. And I don't know, I don't like AT&T, so
using that particular network setting. Would
I'm
that
sorry.
be
Say that again, Dr. Hugh.
Is that correct? Because there's not as many people using that particular network setting?
In theory, right? If everybody is not as smart as you, right? And like if they don't know to switch it to a different network. So that's theoretically it might work. I would test it in a high traffic area to see if it
Yeah.
actually works.
Well, I love what Diligent's talking about. I think that he's right. And I love doing the forward facing videos, showing people what I see. but I think there's some more work to do. But yeah, that's fascinating. Let's go to Lilu, and then to Rabbit, and then back to Josh. Lilu, take it away.
Oui, bonsoir, docteur. Hi, everyone. So my question first is to do or not to do giveaways on Spaces? Is that the question or not? Because I think I didn't get it.
Yes, yes, we kind of toggle back and forth between different topics, but the main topic is, yeah, what about giveaways? If you're in a space, is that a thumbs up for a giveaway? or not? And how is it best done?
Okay, so I don't believe in giveaways on X, actually. I have seen many giveaways on Instagram. With some brands. Sometimes I chose to make my audience win something that is coming from the brand or something they were choosing, which is also a great way to make things like CTAs and let them engage with you and more about your content. So you can just define again what you are providing them, because people like to win sometimes, but it was never a huge thing or a thing to win, followers and grow numbers, but because it's not community, it's not real. And it is actually, when you want to monetize what you do online, what you sell to brand, you sell the people that follow you. It's true, because of your content. And I'm not ashamed to say that. I have not done that a lot because I am a lawyer and I do have my real job, as I said, but sometimes you have great opportunities and it's okay to take them too, because it's really a great job, amount of hours, or using tools and buying stuff. But it's, at the end, I was like, it's my choice. But then with a growing community, when you have great deals, it's okay to me to monetize in, I would say, an ethic way, which could be and will be, I guess, with the monetization of X, a space topic. And then to make your followers, of the people of your community, feel great about it and feel rewarded, maybe. But to me, when it's a book or a trip or something they really like in your content, or for example, I made cameras like Sony's, the one that were really expensive for my audience at Christmas. So it could be really interesting and really cool for them. So if I were on X, and regarding the monetization, I really loved what Sega mentioned when he said, I'm providing them people they could not meet without me, expertise they will not could listen to. Like, for example, you are a doctor. If you come in another space, you are a doctor. And I'm in France. Well, right now I could, but it's hard to have an appointment with you. So if you come as an expert on a special subject topic, and my audience, thanks to me and the connection I made with you, can be listening to, I think this is kind of a giveaway. But also, and I've already mentioned that in this and the exposium, speakers are going to be rewarded. Maybe not right now, but in a couple of months to me, because the one who have expertise in the digital, whatever field they are in, they will be rewarded, because that's kind of monetization. So a giveaway to me on X Spaces would be having experts or winning coaching or any service you provide with the people. For example, if I do what I call artistic coaches, or AI coaching, whatever expert you're in, today at the end of the year for Christmas, I am going to make you win an appointment with me, which costs that much money. So people are just, in the same direction, and you are still in the digital way you created for your account. And so the people that are engaging in your community for that giveaway are the people who will be willing to have you as a coach or an expert, which you're providing while you're creating content. And these new followers, maybe because lots of people are looking at you, liking, reposting, but not following you. This particular follower is what I call a sane follower. And this could be a great giveaway. Well, this is what I would do, but I would not advise people to go into, let's win these or let's win that, because I think it killed so many accounts on Instagram, and it will kill account on X2. So this is there's a wave of spaces, there's a wave with audio, and it's time to take the wave, but surf on it, not sink, if I can say that this way. But thank you.
Lilu, such great wisdom. Thank you very, very much. Yeah, it's really kind of an individual thing. And I think it's something to not just jump into, take and get some advice from different people. Hopefully, you're getting some great advice here and taking some notes. But let's go ahead and go to Rabbit. Thank you for being so patient, Rabbit. Share your thoughts on it.
I appreciate you having this space, and thank you for everyone who's come up and hosted and co-hosting and the time. I fully agree that time is a fantastic currency. So I love the idea that Lilu mentioned about using the interview. It's your time. What a fantastic application. So I love that. And speaking of time, I'll try to be brief. I think if you're out in the field doing remote broadcasting and you have a insufficient upload speed, I think you should say, this is where I am. This is the network I'm operating on. This is how it's going. Because I think that there's value in people understanding the fragility of life when it's built upon technology. And I think a lot of people take for granted when they see all these different news companies out there broadcasting from Timbuktu, and it's hunky dory. What they don't realize is a lot of those guys are running, 15 to $20,000 DeGero systems to do their uplink satisfactorily, so that you can sit wherever you are, watch the TV, and think, oh, this is easy peasy. But as Diligent and you and others have seen, it's not. So having solid fixed mobility is a complicated thing. Having solid mobile mobility is even more complicated, but it can be done. And I think it's relevant if we want to take spaces to the next level. Thank you for letting me speak. I yield.
Rabbit, thank you so much. And that's exactly what I try to do. I try to just kind of make a joke out of it. And G.Lo, I'm actually going to ask you be completely transparent, honest with a critique of how my bike ride videos went, because I would start from my home with a front, well, actually from a what do you call it, rear facing video, where I would do an intro. I'm about to start this bike ride. Then there's a button where you toggle your camera to the front. By the way, I would hope that Spaces would develop a technology that you could do a split screen, front facing, rear facing, and that would be so. That's one of my things I love about Ecamm is you can change scenes. So I think that if they're really going to level up the way Diligent talked about and Rabbit talked about, is they're going to have some mechanism with maybe some basic buttons where you could toggle between scenes, front camera, rear camera, scene one, scene two, scene three, and you can set your scenes even if one of those scenes is a video, or some audio, or a graphic or something like that would be really, really cool, because it's a bit of a pain to click the button to toggle from rear facing to front facing. So I would toggle to front facing, and then I would lose my feed halfway down my road because there's a dead zone. And then Richard gave me, I think it was Richard gave me the pointer, try a different network setting. I did, and that worked a little bit. But then it's still kind of sketchy, you know. So I think that yeah, it's going to be a real connectivity problem. But I love what Rabbit said, because I'll just tell people, look, you know, if the feed drops, I'll do my best. I'll stop and restart it. Thank you guys for sticking with me, you know, yada yada yada. And it just kind of is what it is. And I don't own the network. I just have an iPhone. And so people that find value stick with you. Those that don't. That's okay. But yeah, great advice, Rabbit. Let's go to Josh, and then we'll grab some more hands here. I think it was Tim and Richard, but Josh, yes, please go ahead.
Well, I'm gonna take a left turn on the plane here. And I didn't answer you, Dr. Heath, on my visitor that's in town. I don't want to speak the individual's name because they're not present. But they are off today on an adventure, couple what 100
Seems
miles.
like I
They're gonna
just don't
they're in
get
the
to talk
Midwest,
today.
upper Midwest, and what we do in the upper Midwest
I'm supposed
is
to be the co-host.
to go to the state
I don't
fair
want to get all annoyed
and
or
eat
anything, but I'm
anything
already
and
annoyed.
everything on a
I know you
stick.
can hear me now, guys. What's up?
Go do like crazy Midwesterner things. So that's what they're off doing today. So I have some downtime without our visitors.
Let me guess, a fried Snickers bar on a stick.
Yes, it's like anything and everything. I mean, you can't even imagine the weird stuff that they have there. You're like, what? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah. Uh-huh. The Oreo cookies on like a beef stick. It's like, and then fat fried. And it's like, yeah. Um, so I told her to be careful. Be careful. At least have some Pepto Bismol handy at the go, because you never know what you're going to run into. But so I wanted to answer that question. But I actually, talking about the video spaces. So you know me, Dr. Heath. I like to show off my new fancy mohawk and my weird handlebar goatee and whatnot. But I'm a space host, and I've never done like the video, or I haven't even attempted. I don't even know how to do it. So that would be question number one. I don't even know how to do it. Um, and then
Gotta keep my dab
bandwidth.
off the screen for now.
So I have a newer iPhone. So the cameras on the iPhone are pretty good. I got a friend, a filmmaker. He's like, I'm going to shoot an entire full length feature on my iPhone because the cameras are so well, at least the rear facing cameras. Um, so using a mobile device versus PC, because I've never done a space from a PC. So I guess I don't know that dynamic. Bandwidth, I'm okay. Hold on, let me land my plane, and then I'll grab the feedback. So you might have to scratch notes. I apologize. So using a mobile device, and
I'm just not getting into this fucking
PC,
conversation, I guess.
and then bandwidth. That was great conversation because I have whether it be my Wi-Fi or cellular signal, and yeah, it makes me a little bit nervous, but you know that I'm not camera shy. I'm not audio shy either. But doing something to add a little bit more dynamic to spaces, because when I do a tweet, I don't normally like to tweet with just or message, not tweet or whatever you want to call it. I normally add a picture, a movie, a GIF, something to create content where it's not just a bunch of words because it tends to get skipped over. So I like adding extra little like flavor to my messages. But I think having like the video during a space might
People that
encourage
get on these
people
spaces, they just want to talk
to
and hear themselves talk
join,
forever.
participate, and
I
be
try to be quick
authentic, Dr.
when
Heath.
I
Be
talk.
authentic. You get the real Josh when you talk to Josh, not just a voice. So, and then one last comment. This is back to G.Lo. G.Lo, we just hooked because after your podcast with Christina, I'm like, Christina, you need a new camera and you need a new microphone because it was. I critiqued it. Your setup is pretty cool, her setup was like not so great. So we upgraded.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Josh. I appreciate it. And yes, you're right. If you can do spaces on your laptop, desktop, you can do spaces on your phone. It has been my experience that the audio tends to be, for whatever reason, and it tends to be more reliable on your phone, which is why I'm doing this on my iPhone. The front camera is lower resolution than the rear camera because it's a lot of tech to pack into a tight spot and they couldn't really do it twice. And so if you're going to video someone else, then yeah, you want to do it with your rear camera. But yeah, there's reasons to kind of, use one or the other. If you're going to shoot a video of yourself or a podcast, then you want to use your rear facing camera. But of course, it's really hard to do that if you're doing a live stream because, you'd have to have braille or something on the screen of your phone to know where the buttons are. G.Lo, what some feedback on my live feed for the bike rides? We didn't get to that earlier. You can just let me have it, ups
Well,
and downs and sideways.
first of all, you're great at engagement, and it's actually good in the area of engagement. One thing I will say, and I'm going to give you guys some best practices for going live with video or audio. As soon as your camera turns on, always thank your listeners for jumping in. Always say, hey, I always thank my replay listeners or replay viewers. And it's the same thing. Hey, aloha family. I introduce myself. Thank you for those of you that are taking your time to watch this on a replay. Because the truth is, as soon as the camera turns on, you don't have any live viewers at all, unless they're like super bionic, like super fans of Dr. Heath, right? So thank the people that are watching the replay, and then you proceed. Um, and in terms of the engagement and critiquing your video, the only thing I would say is that it's hard because when you do it, so for example, live stream and video spaces are not the same. Okay, so let me give it the distinction. Dr. Heath does a video spaces or spaces with video, which means people that come in can talk to him while he's doing his thing. And he knows I have my reservations on that. But it's good in the sense that he can have an audience with him. So it's almost like we're all riding the bike with him and we're chirping in his ear, right? That can pose negative or positives, right? So I think you did a really good job in the engagement. The only thing is being aware of the camera angles. So now you're not just a host, you're now a camera guy. And you got to think about, is this angle going to be enjoyable by my audience, or is it going to make them throw up? Or are they going to get irritated? Because a lot of times they'll get irritated, but they won't tell you, right? They'll just leave because, oh, he didn't respond to me, or he didn't say my name, or he keeps pointing the bike at the ground. He keeps complaining about how big his house is and the 15 swimming pools he's got in the yard with, the all the fancy Lamborghinis in his driveway. So yeah, in respect, you do a good job in engagement. I think there's nothing negative it's not even negative, Dr. Heath. It's like having a perspective. Now you're a cameraman. You're not just someone that's talking. Now you got to be conscious of the camera angles and are they enjoying it? Yeah. So I'll share something in the purple pill. You guys can kind of get an idea of what not to do in
Yeah,
regards to camera.
that yeah that and it's really a trial and error thing. So if you're interested, get started. You're going to screw up, but then learn from your screw ups. And the thing that I love to do is I've kind of channeled being a tour guide. And so I love telling a story and kind of telling a different story every time I do it. And I think that that really enhances, number one, your presence on camera, your presence on audio, but also it improves your speaking skills. So if you'll just jump out there and do it, and then remember that you're trying to engage your audience by telling a story. And so one of the things that I've done is I've told local stories. I'll tell a story about, this hill and this house and the people that live in that house and just well-known knowledge to people that live here, but try to make it interesting and then try to make it personal. Why am I telling this story? And so if you're interested in doing it, just jump out there and do it. Like Greg said, you've got to realize that the camera is your ability to direct the eyeballs of your viewers. So, what do you want your viewers to see? One thing I noticed right off the bat is I had my phone positioned for me to easily see the screen. But if I can easily see the screen, my audience can't easily see the horizon. I had too much road in the camera eye. And so I tilted it up, which made it more difficult for me to see, but I think it was more favorable to the audience. And so you're really asking yourself, what do I want my audience to see? Looking in your camera and asking yourself, is this what I want in the frame? And if not, adjust your camera. And G.Lo and Waylon are much more experienced at that than I am, but that's just some of the things that I discovered. And then don't take it too seriously. Some people get just way too OCD about it, and way too catastrophizing about it. Man, just have fun and let it go and adjust things on the fly. Thank your speakers being patient. Let's go to Tim and then Richard and Josh. Tim, go right ahead, my friend.
Awesome. Thanks, Dr. Heath. Appreciate the mic. And G.Lo Wayland's first time I've met you. Bonsoir, Lilou. Hope you're doing well in France. I'm here from Canada, so I speak a little bit of French. But anyways, great space as always, Dr. Heath. I think I've been listening on and off this morning here in Vancouver, Canada, and I think there's a lot of good points, salient points that are said. I think part of it is like to be a good host. The way I sort of imagine it is like you're hosting like a dinner party, right? Or a block party, if you do those, right? Just hey, you bring your own drinks. I was born and raised in Alberta, so we did barbecues in the summer, right? And so it's like bring your own drinks. I'll have some barbecues and some hot dogs and hamburgers or steaks, whatever the case may be, and we'll just go from there, right? And I think it's that sort of same mentality. So you as the space host you're in the driver's seat, right? So if you want it more casual and moving and grooving and more like interactive, then format it that way, right? And to kind of start the space, set the tone, and sometimes you gotta kind of reiterate and reinforce that, because just like a open house barbecue, right, where people can show up whenever during that day, there will be guests or guests of guests, and they won't know the ground rules, the house rules, right? So that's how I kind of approach it. And then obviously for more technical spaces, so I come from an engineering background, a tech background, so more technical spaces where we really want to get into the weeds, the deep dives of just specific technology stacks, research and development in various things like AI, then it tends to be a little bit more focused and a little bit less like free form casual, right? And for spaces like that, I tend to like go to hands. But anyways, those are my 2 cents. Thanks for the mic, Dr. Heath. And thanks. Hope everyone's doing well.
Tim, thank you so very much. And we're going to be here for about the next 30 minutes. We'll be wrapping up in a little bit with some top tips on giveaways and other spaces concerns in this SOS, Space on Spaces. We'll be back next Saturday with a speakers forum. We call it the Roast and Toast, where it's a small space. We don't have a whole ton of people attend because why? Well, we want you to get your feet wet, or actually your vocal cords wet, speaking in a space on the psychology of developing best speaker skills. Richard, thank you for being so patient. Go right ahead. Oh, I'm sorry, Waylon. Go ahead. Yes, please. Yeah, Waylon, give us some feedback on what you're hearing so far. What are some tips or some feedback? And yeah, thank you for being so patient. Well, quickly walk us through how you pull that off. So Waylon put a link up in the Jumbotron. You can click on that link and see what he's doing as we speak. And so please hop over there and take a look at the hard work he's doing. Waylon is one of the most experienced podcasters here. I think Waylon, you do you do a daily podcast? Wow, that's a lot of work. That's amazing. So tell me, why do you have two microphones? Now, I don't know if you know the answer to this or G.Lo, but as I said earlier, I'll use Ecamm, and I can't use Ecamm to stream. Well, actually, I probably could. I just haven't figured it out. I can live stream simultaneously through Ecamm to Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, X, and Instagram. Um, I've not done that with Spaces yet, but it's possible. Just haven't figured it out. And so, whatever your software is, go for it. Let's see, Gilo, do you have a follow
Yeah,
up?
you can. All three of us can the way we do it, right? We actually use me and Waylon use the same software. I use OBS, but I'm not that smart, so I don't use OBS because it does require a little bit of brain activity. StreamYard is easy for me, and yeah, you can resize video in StreamYard. It's just a little bit extra step. Um, you can do it, Dr. Heath, but there will be a little bit of lag as we experienced in our previous test, right? Where there's a little bit of a lag from video to audio. So if I did it, I would do it where the live video would be to other platforms to bring them over to X. I wouldn't necessarily do a live stream video of the live spaces audio and do it. It's kind of like you're punching yourself on both cheeks at the same time. That's such a weird picture. I don't know why I said it, but anyways, so for example, if I do a live spaces right now and I have my mic set up and I'm doing a live space, and then I do a live video of that spaces and I put that same spaces on Twitter at the same time. So I'm doing a live audio spaces and a live video of that spaces. It's kind of counterproductive for me. But if I get it on my other audience that doesn't come on this platform, it makes a lot of sense because they already have video on X. It's just not as robust like what Waylon's doing. Waylon can do a ton of things with the audio spaces, and he's basically taking the audio spaces and putting on a ton of makeup on it. He's making it look pretty. He's making it attractive for people. Like right now, the problem on Facebook, like, oh, what is that? Right? They're like, how do I participate in that? So that's how I would say I wouldn't really stress on trying to do two at the same time on the same platform. That's just my take on it. So.
Yeah, but I think it's incredible, and Waylon's correct. This is the first time ever anyone has ever done what Waylon is doing right now. So don't pass up the opportunity. Click on that link in the Jumbotron and take a look at what he's doing, because I just think it's really, really super cool. We're going to go to Richard for some comments on giveaways and technology. And then I'd like to hop back to Waylon to get his feedback on some of his thoughts, additional thoughts on giveaways. Richard, take it away.
Yeah, and Dr. Heath, I wanted to come in and tell you that the lower megapixel phones, cameras on your phone, they'll perform better over the live stream functionality on this app so far, from what I've seen from multiple people doing so. If you flip around to the cameras on the other side of your phone, like film out in front of the bicycle when you're on it, it's going to take a lot more data transmission for it to keep from breaking up and crumbling apart on you. Um, that that's what I wanted to tell you is the lower megapixel camera is going to be your best bet for live streaming right now until they get the platform on up to par. And the live stream restreaming, yeah, I've already dealt with some other people that were doing that uh, months ago. This spring, we were playing around with it a lot, and I jumped out of that group for reasons I won't go into. But um, yeah, your 5G signal is going to probably be your best signal for your video features. The 4G LTE isn't going to carry quite as much data, but it'll carry enough to be adequate to perform more than you need to with your rear facing camera, the one looking at your face when you're looking at the screen.
Yeah, Richard, since you seem in tune with this, what's the difference between 5G auto, 5G on? So I have a setting for 5G auto and 5G on. Does that just switch between the top-notch network of 5G, and then it kind of down regulates it to light if need be?
Yeah, I believe I'm not familiar with an auto switch like that. My phone's not that expensive, but yeah, that should be the automatic setting for you to switch from a 5G signal over to the 4G LTE when it's not available, or like in between the towers when you're going down the highway. Sometimes you get to the fringe area and your signal will start breaking up, and then it will come back on. You'll hear that when people are traveling down highways and they're doing a space.
Yeah, I was really excited to hear what Diligence said about what Starlink is doing until it sounded like it was you'd have to have I'd have to have a backpack or something. But I'd love to be able to connect up to Starlink, but it sounds like it's not really doable on a bike ride. Maybe I can get a tricycle or something
You can do it, Dr. Heath.
with a wagon.
We'll put the antenna on top of your helmet there, Doctor
Hey,
Heath.
there you go. Yeah, yeah. I have been told I need my own tinfoil hat helmet to keep the signals from the aliens from scrambling my brain. But I think it may already be too late. I think it's already too late. Thank you so much for. Let's go back to Waylon, because Waylon's going to share some more on his thoughts to kind of catch him up in the conversation, because he is multitasking between two different settings, two different spaces, two different rooms. But Waylon, some more of your thoughts on the value or lack thereof of giveaways.
do this then. Okay, they can hear me from the other computer's audio. See, there's always another way to skin the cat, but no offense to the cat lovers out there. So the giveaways with the game show, it's a multi-purpose show. It gets me a reason to get my creative, juices flowing. I love to do that. I always love to draw as a kid, and now I get to create a game and I make a whole like universe around it, and it's fun. So my subscribers get to have fun, the viewers get to have fun, the sponsors that I started to gather since the game started, it has been this whole like blindsided. It was a surprise. It was a surprise to me. Sorry, I'm looking at two things. So the issue is I can also hear myself in my head, which is really annoying right now. The issue is people want to come in for giveaways and then they want to leave. You'll never see them again. If you do a giveaway just to get them into your space or just to get them in to watch, a lot of groups on Facebook do this. So many, like very few groups do not do this, where they will do a giveaway and you have to be there to win. And so they want to drive the numbers up. Oh, look at how many people are in here. And they're all for sure hanging on every word I say, not just waiting for this giveaway to happen, and that's not true. That's a lot of the people are just going to be hanging out waiting for the giveaway. But if you use it as a tool or as an incentive, like I do, I push people to the subscription platform and then I give them higher chances to win or bigger prizes if they subscribe at higher levels, and then they get more chances to win if they've been there longer, because people will sometimes come and subscribe and then leave another like a month later after winning a lot more than they came in for. So I'm sorry I'm all over the place here. Let me take this headphones off. Maybe I can think better.
I was going to ask you while you're doing that, what you thought about G.Lo, his recommendation earlier, and you guys can describe how to deploy this actually, because I may not know and others may not know. That is, G.Lo mentioned in order to enter, you have to like, repost, and make a comment or something. And how do you keep track of that? Because that seems really work intensive.
That is another one that people do. I actually did a giveaway last month. It was about 3 weeks that I put it up, and it was for a reverse osmosis water filter, which everyone can use. It's a very nice, clean water. But the giveaway was for mostly my subscribers, but I let people outside of subscriptions get a chance to win if they did, A, B, and C. There was like 6 steps. Join my group, like my page, invite friends to like my page, like this post, and share it. Oh, and I think I asked them to tag friends in the comments. That's a lot of steps, but for a free chance, which I personally don't get into those myself. I just put it out there and here you go. If you want a chance to win this, it's a, $260 water filter. And then I paid $100 to put it out as an ad, a sponsored ad. I've never done that before. I put it out and I thought maybe Facebookers out there would love this. It's non-confrontational. It's not a promotion of my show. It's just like, here, a giveaway. And I got like 800 likes on it. Great. But hardly any of them even joined in, which is really funny. It's like, well, that was pointless, basically. So I guess to land my plane, you have to be conscious of why you're going to do it. Like, what's the goal of it? Like with G.Lo, it was a appreciation for us to have built the community to that size. And a lot of groups do that. I like that. Facebook's a lot more about the groups. And I think on X, the communities are getting better. And I think that's going to ultimately be a good driver for communities, like milestone giveaways. But doing those, like, okay, I do, let's see, I give away 16 times a month from my pocket. And I have 15 to 18 sponsors every Sunday night that we give away prizes. which is a lot to keep track of. Now, for me, those giveaways from the sponsors are just to generate more subscribers, and it's all a big circle. For me, it's a win-win, win-win, etc. But I'll land my plane. I could go all day. Obviously, I talk a lot already.
Well, and I appreciate that. And one thing that comes to mind is the value of cross-platform promotions. And
Sorry,
so
guys,
if
you couldn't hear me
something
before.
costs, whatever a giveaway costs you $100, just doing it on X, that's $100 giveaway. If you split that between 4 other platforms, then all of a sudden that's a $20 giveaway per platform. And so to do that, you're going to have to do some type of cross-platform live streaming. Of course, you can do that simultaneously, or if you don't want to get into all the technology, like I use Ecamm, G.Lo, and Waylon uses
What's up, Billy? What's up,
StreamYard
Colin?
and
Brian,
some other
Kim?
tech. Then you can just do it one at a time. Go to Facebook, do it. Go to Instagram and do it. Go to LinkedIn and do it. I like to stream to all those simultaneously. And I love what Waylon said, but it has to really kind of fit your brand. You need to ask the question, why am I doing this giveaway? And then you need to plan it out, or you're just really wasting your time. Part of that is, again, the why, because if you don't have a goal, you're just bound to be disappointed. And the goal needs to be realistic. What can I realistically hope to accomplish here? And let me just say, we've talked about things that are metrics that can be counted. So consider this, that someone telling somebody who tells somebody who tells somebody who tells somebody, there's no way to track that. It's all about visibility, and it's all about consistency.
Testing,
The
testing. Can you guys
one
hear me now?
main
Yeah,
compliment
I can't
that
use the
I've
same mic for
gotten that
both.
really is,
Interesting.
I mean, all the compliments are meaningful to me, but one that really sticks out is I had somebody say, "I'm just glad that you're consistent." And so if you're going to do giveaways, I would either do them or not do them. I wouldn't do, one giveaway a year. Maybe G.Lo and Waylon has some advice on frequency of giveaways. And here's why, because doing it regularly helps psychologically set up a pattern of expectation in the mind of your audience. And they may not even know that your giveaway is coming, but they know subconsciously. And so consistency above everything. You might say, well, I just want to try it. Well, yeah, that's fine. And you can say that. You can get on and say, hey, I've never done a giveaway. I'm going to do it. I'm going to see how it goes. And then I'm going to do a survey. For those of you on X who've never done a survey, consider doing something and then putting up a survey to get feedback on how that went. And you can do that, many different ways, but here's two. One is have people rate it. You have 4 survey items. X gives you the ability to do 4 survey items. And you can put, I think it was the best thing since, peanut butter ice cream or whatever. Uh, I'd rather have a root canal as the worst one. And so you can do it's called a Likert scale, which just means rated at a 1, 2, 3, or 4. But then you can make it fun. 4, the top notch rating is this, 3, 2, and then 1 is the root canal. The other way you can do it is what you like most about it. And the other thing is you can do both. You can do 2 surveys
What's up,
on the
Earl?
same thing, so you're literally letting your audience inform you what they think worked best. So real quick before we go to AJ, who's been so
What's up?
patient,
What's up, everybody?
and then we'll get to Josh. I don't know if we'll get to Josh or not. I think we'll take a vote on whether we're going to let Josh speak again. No, I'm just kidding. I like to mess with Josh. But G.Lo and Waylon, some thoughts on consistency and frequency of giveaways?
Um, I think consistency is good. My only reservation with consistency, especially if you're self-financing, and I put on my notes for anybody that wants to. If you missed it earlier, I posted a picture of my notes of what I talked about. Um, Consistency is important depending on what it's for, right? If you do something too much too often, people will expect it, and sometimes they may not have that level of excitement. So, and sometimes they won't attend. Like, I can imagine how many people have said, "Oh, he's going to give away some more Hawaiian stuff," because I've done a lot of Hawaiian giveaways, and people literally like, I've seen it already. And I actually put it in my in a jumbotron where I've given away so much stuff from Hawaii, and people are like, I can buy it. I can buy it myself. So the frequency I do agree with. My only reservation is if you're self-financing, which I'm okay with self-financing giveaways if that's in your budget and in your business budget, whatever. But I would encourage, if you do something consistently, get someone else to pay for it. Get a business to pay for it. That way it's part of their advertising budget, not out of your own pocket. And I did put that in my notes. So if anybody wants to know in detail kind of what I'm talking about in that. So
Thank you. Thank you very much. And yeah, I mean, reach out to companies. Let me say
Totally.
this real quick, and somebody out there may grab onto this and really run big time with it. We've talked about high ticket items, but it dawns on me, being someone that was on eBay years ago quite frequently, not so much anymore, that people sell all sorts of really weird things on eBay. It seems like there was some person that sold some type of haunted bottle that they claim they captured a ghost in, and the ghost was trapped in the bottle, and they sold this ghost bottle for like $20,000 or something like this, you know. And so think outside the box. You don't, it's kind of like Christmas gifts for poor people. When I was a kid, we're really, really poor. We couldn't buy expensive gifts for anybody. So we made crap, you know, and that was some of the most meaningful things ever. I saw a guy that made a stick shift for a Mustang out of little leather pieces that he super glued together. And then he put them on a lathe. He had a lathe at his house, and he lathed them down into the shape he wanted for his gear shift. And then he took a hammer and I don't know, cut out the reverse and first gear, second gear, third gear at the top of it. So you could do a giveaway of something you made. You could do a giveaway of, you know, ghost dental floss or something if your thing is the paranormal. You could do a
Hey
giveaway
Trent, what's up, brother?
of life management by giving away these homemade coins with TUIT written or embroidered or stamped or in glitter on the front of them. And what does TUIT stand for? Well, you've always heard people say, "I'm going to do that when I get around to it." Well, here's a round coin, and now you got around to it. So there's no excuse not to do it, because I have just mailed you. You're around to it, and so let's get busy. And so
Nice.
be clever, be curious, be creative, and you don't have to go out and buy some $200 or $300 giveaway to give away. You could personalize it, and that may wind up being much more relevant and much more cherished and treasured from somebody than something that you can just go and buy at a store. You know, make something
Hmm.
for somebody. And one time I had a drug rep. This is kind of a PG-14 or PG-17 thing, maybe, but I had a drug rep one time at a conference approach me, and he gave me a what's that pill called? A little blue pill tie, a Viagra. Viagra. He gave me a tie literally that had 1,000 Viagra on the front of it. And of course, I told him it was broken because it wouldn't stand up erect. You know, I thought it was yeah, G.Lo's give me a thumbs. I said, man, this tie's broken. You'd think with being full of Viagra, it would at least, you know, stand up straight, but it doesn't. It just lays there limp against my chest, you know. So you give away Viagra ties, you know. So be clever, be creative, and you never know what you may come up with. Let's go to AJ and then to Josh, and we're going to start wrapping the space up.
Yo, Dr. Heath, love and light, everybody. Nice to meet you, Waylon G.Lo. Yeah, I missed your space on narcissism a few days ago, so I just came up here because I wanted everyone to see my pretty face. Didn't really have anything meaningful to say. No, I'm kidding. So one thing that a thought it triggered, you triggered in my mind. I used to host a comedy public access show, kind of like a David Letterman or Tonight Style show. We did a lot of live giveaways actually from our local sponsors. One of the interesting things I don't think I heard anyone mention is when you're doing your giveaway giveaways, you might want to make sure once in a while, or maybe all the time, you have a prize for your really active participants, like the people that really love you and they're always tuning in, right? So if I were to do a giveaway, I'm like, I'm going to randomly pick 5 people in the chat. Well, these might just be people that just came in because they heard there's a free prize and they're never ever going to come back. They just, and so my active participants, they got to feel slighted, right? Because 5 randoms just got a prize, but but active guys always here listening. So you might do something like, well, comment below like indoor plants, like what indoor plant were we focused on yesterday on my live stream, and the active guys like, well, yeah, that was a monstera or whatever, out of juniper bush or whatever, and then they comment the right answer, so the active people get the rewards. That's one thought I had to share. And then, also, since we're on Twitter, let's not, I don't know, I was 20 minutes late to the space, but let's not, I don't know if you mentioned it already, that let's not forget the power of polling, right? So Twitter is really great for polling. And why is that? People come onto Twitter for 2 subconscious psychological reasons. They want to get angry really fast, like triggered by something, or they want to give their opinion really fast, right? I'm kind of joking, but they love giving their opinion. So the polls, you could always say, like, what would you like me to see me give away next, or what should our next topic be? So me personally, I haven't hosted a lot of spaces, but a book came into my life called 200 Spiritual Principles, Worldwide Laws of Life is what it's called, by Templeton. And it's really good. It became like a daily little like wake up devotional. And I thought, I want to share this with the world. So I'm thinking of doing 200 chat spaces, but that would take years. I'm thinking I'll just poll people, like, what issues would you most join a chat space about? Like overcoming anger, or am I dealing with addiction, or how do you find happiness or purpose of life? And then polling my my audience to see what would be the most meaningful to them. And then they have what you call a not precognition, pre-framing. There's a whole book on this. Anyways, it's you're showing them a little preview before, so now they've already thinking about it. It's already on their mind, and when it comes up again, they're like, oh yeah, I polled on that, I'm going to join that space. So that's all for now. Thanks for
I
having
love
me.
those. I love those. As you're talking, 2 things come to mind, and one of them is treasure hunts. And so you could easily turn what AJ just talked about into a treasure hunt, where we talked about this topic and then make it kind of a riddle on a previous space. And we talked about this and this and this. And so, literally, to even win, you would have to listen to those 4 spaces in order to come up with the solution to the riddle. And you have to put 4 puzzles together. You have to solve 4 riddles to win the prize. Another thing that I think is inevitable, and I sent a request over this to the spaces people, and then to do POAPs, or proof of attendance. I really wish they would do that, because in my profession, you have to get X number of continuing education units every 2 years to remain board, credentialed. And so, what a wonderful benefit for spaces if there was a way that attending spaces, you could get a continuing education credit, and the person that you're following, the app itself would keep up with it. And you would have an electronic CEU, continuing education unit. Um, and then you could get prizes for different levels, at the whatever the bronze, silver, gold, platinum level. And so I think you can expect these advances in spaces if we just hang on, keep sending suggestions like this to at spaces, and grab a group of people and say, hey, let's all 5 or 10 of us send a suggestion for this feature. And if I had one to recommend, it would be that one. Proof of attendance, and that would open it up to showing who is a super fan in your community. Let's go to Josh, and we'll do one quick round if there's a final hand that goes up, and we're going to wrap up with my co-host Waylon and G.Lo. Josh, go right ahead.
I didn't really have a conversation or question regarding giveaways, but Dr. Heath, I just dropped a giveaway up in your up in the Megatron. So I will just preface this, for the first, maybe 20 people. I don't want to cap the number, but roughly 20 people that retweet and share out this space, the recording, because it is being recorded. And if they feel comfortable sending me a private DM, follow me, send me a private DM, and just give me your address, and I will put these things out in the mail. So
Oh,
anybody that
wow, that is amazing. I love those.
So, Dr. Heath, send me your address and I will send you a free set of coins. It's a four set of coins. So, and I personally made these. I had them designed, I minted them, and whatnot. So, if you want a set of Vikings coins, because you know me, I love my Vikings theme, being a Norwegian. So, if anybody would like a set, but the requirement is to retweet out the space and share it with others, that others, this has been a great conversation. 99% of it went over my head when you guys started getting to the technology stuff. I'm sitting here going, yeah, I just have a quick question. How do I start a video space chat? Because I still don't know how to do it.
Well, hey,
And
if you're going to give away coins, let's go over that really quickly. It's
But I
really
have one more. I have one more
go ahead.
question though, Dr. Heath. I got two questions. So, how to start a video chat space, and then an opinion question as a follow up of. Um, so I'm like an audio visual guy. We're here in spaces and we see our avatars, and so just having a little bit of a visual, and we're watching all the emojis, blah blah blah. But doing a video, um, would it be appropriate just to like show my backyard and have my dogs running around just to give somebody like a visual of something, or do I have to be like a portrait of me? Because it would be like awkward, because if I do a 4-hour space, and I'm going to practice this tonight, by the way, I'm going to create a space and I'm just going to practice once I learn how to do it. And then, because, if we do a 4-hour space, sometimes you got to, take your water break because we all have biological functions. And it would just be awkward to walk off camera and, leave your listeners just hanging. I don't fully get it, but I want to try it. I want to
Well,
practice. I want to
that
play.
would be less awkward than taking your camera with you.
Also, that's what a
Yeah.
co-host is for. You can delegate to your co-host to manage it while you take a break.
Well, take a
Exactly.
break, but I also don't want to be like walking around either, like a Blair Witch project, like camera up next to my face, and I'm like
Shaky
bouncing
cam.
all over the place and like
That's
making
actual
everybody nauseous.
cinematography. That's an actual cinematography technique for those of you that don't know it. That was really made it big time with the Blair Witch thing, and it's actually called shaky cam. And now there's actually apps that mimic that copy that you can toggle to a shaky cam function. It's kind of a weird thing, but no, I would say, Josh, do what serves your audience, do what serves the topic of the space, and do what serves your brand. And so, no, let me put those in order. Number one is brand, brand, brand. Come up with your brand and do not change your brand based on anything. Research it and then stick with it. There are brands on X that I just don't like, but a lot of people do. And I mean, millions of people love things that I don't like and will never watch, and that's okay. So come up with your brand, stay consistent and faithful to your brand. If you don't, then people just view you as being double minded. And it's really hard to follow people that are double minded because it looks like, the word you use, lack of authenticity. The second thing is your audience. And so if you're trying to serve everybody, as it said, you're not going to serve anybody. And just realize not everybody's, you're going to be their jam. And then thirdly, does what I'm doing in this moment serve the purpose of the broadcast? So I do every Friday a live video stream, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, Chicago, Memphis time, Executive Espresso. My recent guest was Dustin the Dad. And Dustin, that's his thing. His thing. He's a new dad, and so he's pouring everything he has into it. But when he got on the show, he said, "Oh my goodness, Heath," he said, I didn't dress up because for executive espresso, I wear a nice dress shirt and a vest. It's just the way I look for that particular thing. I don't wear a vest to work. I don't wear a vest on other video spaces, but for executive espresso, that's how I started out. When I'm doing my interview with the great Johnny Vedmore, I just wear a logoed alma mater shirt. I went, my undergrad was Line College, and I wear a Line College shirt just because I've got two of them. And if one's dirty, I can just always wear the other one, so it's easy. And it's kind of laid back. And that's kind of the flavor of that show, because Johnny's not dressed up either. So you kind of go with the flavor of the show. And so, long story short, do what works, do what you can be consistent with. I will, like this morning, Waylon said, if you guys want, you can hop on the live stream. Well, I knew I really couldn't do that because I'd have to be stepping away from the camera, and you're going to see me off screen a lot doing things in the background. So, doing a space like this, I can carry my phone with me, or worst case scenario, I can put on my headset. By the way, just a little tip here. Usually, you're not going to get anywhere near the audio quality through any headset, rather than just speaking into the mic with optimized audio settings on your phone, which for an iPhone, you swipe down from the upper right hand corner and it gives you your audio settings. And you want to pick voice isolation. So just real quick on the video space, then we're going to wrap up with Waylon and G.Lo. Thank you guys for being here. Almost called G.Lo G.Lu because we have Lilu here earlier. And so I've gotten Lilu and G.Lu. I think we should start calling Greg that just for the heck of it, since he loves it so much. G.Lu and Lilu. What a team, Lilu and G.Lu. I think she'll love it. But to do a video space, you're going to go to your home screen. So if you want to take notes, here's how you do that. Go to your home screen, where your pretty little pictures are. I'm not talking about Josh's picture. I'm talking about everybody else's. I'm talking about G.Lu's picture. What a pretty little picture G.Lu has. You go to your home screen, and then you're going to hard press the plus button. When you hard press the plus button, which is in the lower right hand corner of your screen, you're going to see, top down, a feather, which is where you can pin a post. You're going to see a GIF, not GIF. GIF is peanut butter. This is a GIF, GIF in a square, where you can pick something funny, or you can choose the mic. If you click the mic, then that's going to let you either schedule a space or go live right now. Uh, just forget about going live right now or scheduling it. That'll come later. But just go to the top and type in something. My first vid space. Here we do every other week. We see if folks want to do a vid space chase, where we just kind of do a daisy chain of Josh opening a video space, and G.Lu, G.Lo open a video space, Waylon open a video space, and we just hop over to their spaces for 5 to 8 minutes, and that's a lot of fun. But just type something. Now, you only get 70 characters. I think it's 70 characters. And so you have to be economical and use that real estate wisely and put in some keywords. If you want to use an emoji, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine too. But do some thinking about keywords. Actually, if you have Grok, you can ask Grok, give me 70 characters using best possible practices for creating a space, and keep it within 70 characters. Sometimes you got to tell it twice. And then say, give me another. And then say, give me another, give me another, give me another, until you get the perfect one. Or you can use some hybrid of those, but use best practices for creating a title with keywords and, blah, blah, blah on this topic, and come up with something clever. I would say this is a pet peeve of mine: people coming up with a title that has nothing to do with what they're going to talk about. And people do that all the time on spaces. And to me, that's just the most ridiculous thing. We're going to talk about knitting, and I get on there and they're talking about politics or something, unless it's the politics of knitting. I don't know. I just don't get it. Um, So I would stay consistent with your title. Do realize if you change the conversation in the middle of the action, you can click on the little pencil and change the name of your space if you want. I don't do that, but a lot of people do. That's particularly handy for a really long space where you have a series of conversational topics going on. But at any rate, come up with a title, and then it asks you to pick some keywords. And the way I would do that is go down, click the plus sign. It'll show you trending topics. I would pick one or more trending topics, but again, pick keywords that relate to what you're doing. If you're doing nothing related to the tag you're about to pick, why would you pick that tag? You're just going to
Right.
confuse people, and people are going to think that you're trying to scam them.
Can you guys hear me
So
all
don't
right?
scam people. If you're not going to talk about something, don't
No
say you're going to
scams.
talk about it. But pick a few keywords. You can pick up to 3. And then you go down and
That's
you're
key.
either going to schedule it for a
That's
certain
key.
date in the future, or you're going to go live now. Um, if you're just getting started, I would probably just pick, the no space. I might type in the no space just to be kind of quirky, and
Oh.
then pick whatever topics are related to that. And or pick none. You don't have to pick any keywords, and that way you're guaranteed that very few, if anybody, is going to show up, and you can just practice. However, if you want to schedule it for the future, you can do that. And
Colin.
then it gives you a function where you can share it out. You can copy the link and do different things with it. And but you have to toggle on, because the default is for a voice and audio only space. You have to click the button to toggle it to video, and it'll show you when you go to start your space how you look before you actually go live. And so you can position your camera the way that you want it, and you're set to go. If any of you guys have problems, that's what the Expose Him is here for. We're here trying to make spaces better places. And we're going to wrap this up with Waylon and G.Lo, and we'll be back next week on Saturday. Waylon and G.Lo, take it away, my friends.
Can I ask one quick
Yes,
follow-up?
sir.
When
Yeah,
you
Josh, go
go
ahead.
live video, are you able, so if I set it up, my phone up on my tripod, I start the space, am I able to flip from front camera to rear camera, or once I set the camera, it's done?
No, it's not done. That's a great question, and I do
Mhm.
that. I will start out my bike ride live. Well, uh, I know it's not a live stream, but it is a stream, and I'm live. I mean, it's not a dead stream. I'm not streaming my corpse or something. And so, but at any rate, terminology. So no, I will start out with my front cam where you can see me, and I'll say, "Hey guys, welcome to the bike ride. We're going to do a 10K bike ride through the neighborhood. I'm going to be your tour guide, and you're going to hear some huffing and puffing. No worries. That's just so I can get." And I just had this whole kind of script that I have in my head that I start out with, and then I switch it to the rear cam, which, as Richard said, is a heavier load, which is probably why I lose my feed. But I don't do front facing front facing all the time, because all you're going to do is see, my lower chin, and you can see up my nostrils, and that's no fun for anybody. And you can just see me sweating. So I want to give people a tour of where I'm going, and I'll actually turn the bike in the direction I want people to look, and I'll call things out. I'll say, "Hey, take a look at this house. This house was actually modeled after Thomas Jefferson's house. This guy was a history and economics professor, and he built this house to look like Thomas Jefferson's house." And I just try to pick out interesting things and relate it to, whatever we're talking about. And then here's another thing I do, Josh, is I try to keep track of people that I can ask to co-host, and that way when I'm busy, well, breathing, I can say, to one of our doctor friends, "Hey, doc, why don't you take it over, G.Lo, or Tyler, why don't you take it over while I'm going up this hill and just trying to not pass out?" And the algorithm also favors having co-hosts. It also favors having a stage full of speakers. And so go ahead and invite as many people up to speak as possible. And here's one last thing. If you're going to do a giveaway, one of the best ways to get the widest reach is to do some legwork in advance. Reach out to people, say, hey, can you co-host with me? Start a chat. G.Lo and Waylon and I started a chat in the background before this space, brainstorm it, and then go ahead and ask for some speakers. Hey, I'm going to have a space on this day. Can you come and be a special guest speaker on my space? And then when you start the space, if you do that, so others won't get ticked off thinking you're ignoring them when they have their hand up, you can say, hey, I've invited this selection of people to be a special guest speaker on my space. And by the way, ex engineers, I really wish that you would engineer in a star or something like that to show that these speakers are not regular speakers, they're a special guest speaker, or add more co-hosts. But since they don't do that, you can call it out and say, hey, these are special guest speakers. They had agreed to make this, set this as an appointment. And so they get precedence in the space, yada, yada, yada. So I hope that helps, Josh. Well, let's go to Waylon and G.Lo. We'll wrap it up.
You just gave me an idea with your Jumbotron. You could put like a special guest speaker. You could make, because I make like my own thumbnail each time before my show. You could set up a thumbnail or just a picture with that special guest, with their whatever picture they send you, or if they have a good, and then you could, make it look, you could throw some stars on there. You could make it look fun. But yeah, but to the conversation about mobile, because I do go to events a lot, and one of my shows is a review show, and I created it in order to get my butt out of the house, and so I go to local businesses and restaurants, and then I eventually started going to events where there's a ton of businesses in one area, and I can talk to all these entrepreneurs and network, and it becomes like so many reasons why it's good for me. I get to get a whole bunch of swag from these events, and then I create these swag packs, if you will, and give those out to my audience as giveaways. And so not only am I getting content for my audience, I'm taking pictures and video, and I'm also meeting new people. There's so many levels why it's good. But the swag, I don't always get enough swag to give away. But my point is, even if you can get free things to give away, if you have to ship things, you have to take that in consideration, because shipping for me was a nightmare at first, trying to find the cheapest way to ship things and then to be safe about it and all that. And so, to be honest, I like to give cash away more than anything, but you can actually you can get in trouble with that. I don't know all the ins and outs of that, but I know that when you get a certain size, that it can definitely, you'll have the eye of Sauron on you, and you'll get caught. So you have to be careful with how that works. And that's why I make it go through my subscription platform. It's being taxed. People can tip. I can do things back. I can give them the in-app coins and all this stuff. So I think I'm safer that way. I don't know for sure. But the point is, when you're the point about mobile I was trying to make was that you have to be careful about people's license plates, people's faces. I always ask permission. I know there are people that go to these events and they don't ask anyone anything, and they're just in anyone's faces. But you can get in trouble for that kind of thing, or if somebody decides to take it upon themselves to come at you for it, or just in general, you don't want to dox people by taking pictures or video of their license plates. That's a big one. That's a huge one for sure. Or people's homes with their, in your case, Dr. Heath, if you're going through a neighborhood, you want to try not to be getting not only their cars, but like their home addresses and things like that. It can be something that I worry about anyway, but I'm a little bit of a worry wart. But G.Lo, go ahead, brother. It's been a great conversation. I just want to say we've had, I don't know what we're at on Rumble. We've had, we were at 15 at one point, but we've had another 50 people come through elsewhere, and we have another 10 people live watching us on Facebook, and a couple on Rumble. I haven't even checked Kick, but yeah, we've had a lot of people weighing in as well in the comments. I've been putting comments up on screen as they've been asking or saying things, and it's been kind of fun for sure. Go ahead, G.Lo.
First of all, I want to say thank you to Dr. Heath for coming up with this space. And I'm hoping that we gave you guys some tools. And so if anybody actually fast forward or listen to the end of this, the whole idea of me jumping on and agreeing to this is I just wanted to share best practices and tools and things that it took me. One of the things I share with you guys, and I want to encourage you guys to go into the Jumbotron. I shared a lot, and I'm not self-promoting by any means, but I want to give you guys some of this information that took me, 5, 7, 10 years to develop. And I didn't come up with it by myself. I'm just a messenger, right? So I learned things from people that have already done it before me. And so one of the things I'm sharing with you guys are my notes. And I will end on the giveaways, but I just wanted to address what Josh was talking about. And I actually wrote his name down. If you go to Jumbotron, I always try to script everything, right? Whether it's a giveaway or going live. And just to be clear, guys, there are two ways to do live video. One is through Spaces, and one is through just doing live video. And got to be very mindful, as one of them gives your listeners or viewers access to your GPS location. Spaces does not yet. So just be mindful of that for anybody that is concerned about doxing yourself. But getting back to the scripting everything, I'll say that if, and this is to Josh and anybody else considering going live Spaces with video, is give somebody a takeaway. Like, are they going to learn something today? Are they going to laugh? Are they going to cry? Are they walking away with value? Are they going to say, you know what, I enjoyed that, I'm going to come back tomorrow? And I always script everything in a sense, not verbatim word for word, but I don't want to miss something. If I have people that are sacrificing their time to be with me today, I want to make sure that I give them everything I've got in my tank, every single thing, every single day. And William does a great job of that. He does it, 5 days a week. And so, and then getting back to the giveaway notes, and to address what Wayne was talking about, the whole idea of the liabilities. That's why in the beginning, for those that were here, I mentioned if you're going to do a giveaway or anything where you have people participate, where you're giving them something, I highly recommend writing out. You can do it on Google Docs. It's free. Come up with a form that is a non-disclosure. It's an independent contractor agreement. There's so many forms you can do for free, and require them. Hey, if you're going to participate, you're going to have to sign this before receiving. It can all be done online. And that being said, I'm hoping that you guys got some tools. And the giveaways for me personally, it used to be in a way where I want people to come in and be around me, right? That long time ago, that's how I did giveaways. Hey, just come and show up. No, it's more like, you know what? I want to bless you. I want to give you something that is of value with a company or product or service that I agree with. And the cool thing about doing giveaways, family, there's a lot of business owners and entrepreneurs in this platform, on all platforms. What a great way to recruit someone to partner up with you and say, hey, guys, look, if you enjoyed this space today, Dr. Heath has a mindset masterclass, and he's going to be doing one membership giveaway at the end of the month. But in order for you to participate in that, do me a favor, go ahead and click on it. And so that's a great way to recruit other content creators and blessing them as well, giving them an opportunity. Because there's two people that have done giveaways with me, company wise, and they've never heard of this platform. They don't know that I can actually promote for them. So it's a great way to really spread yourself out a little bit, have a bigger footprint. And the last thing I'll end on this is that if you're someone that has been mesmerized by this quote unquote monetization, I would encourage you to consider doing giveaways and having sponsors do giveaways, because it's a great way to start a relationship with a company and give your listeners or audience a product or service that you actually like or believe in, and you get to control the level and the percentages of monetization that you take in your bank account, rather than waiting for Twitter to give you a ad revenue share program, which nobody knows what the percentages, right? So that's the pluses and minuses. And just to say thank you again, Dr. Heath and Waylon and everybody that participated. We just hope that we gave you guys some tools. You don't have to use them, but we want to throw them out there. And if you want to grab them, put them in your toolbox, give it a shot. Let us know how it worked out for you. And I'm so sorry I'm talking so much. The last one, in the Jumbotron, if you want to see what it's like to do a live video in the ocean, it's in the Jumbotron. It's where I take my phone in the ocean, get pounded by waves, and I do a live video Spaces. I don't want to say Spaces just because that's the language everybody understands. I did live video Spaces in the ocean, getting pounded by waves. So if you want to see what that looks like and talking under stressful situations, you got to watch that video. So thank you, Dr. Heath.
G.Lo and Waylon, you guys are the best of the best. And if you guys are not looking at their content, do yourself a favor and do so. I don't think that there are two guys that do it any better in all of X than these two gentlemen right here. So take a look at what they have to offer. I want to thank everybody for being here. Thank you, Josh, for being here. I really appreciate your thoughts and all the other speakers. We'll be back next Saturday for the speakers roast and toast. If you just want to learn the psychology of public speaking and how to level up in using those golden vocal cords. Everybody go out, have a wonderful day, be with the family, reset your mindset, and rejuvenate yourself, and blessings around the room. Bye-bye, everybody.
And that is that. Okay. Please, if anyone's listening within the sound of my voice, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Interesting, Kim says. Kim, can you hear me? Meh. Let's go with, shut that off. Can hear you. Yes. Awesome. Thank you, ladies. Yeah, that was weird. I got really frustrated in the beginning. But we got through it. There's G.Lo. What's up, G.Lo? Yeah, bro, come up if you want to like do like a quick little after say hi with people. I'm probably gonna shut the X off and do a little Facebook medicinal more afternoon with my Facebook friends here. Got 8 of you hanging out, guys. Appreciate you with the engagement. Any comments and likes and shares that you can do on my profile, I really appreciate that. Getting the old paid bonuses, so finally getting recognized by Facebook for what I'm putting in. It's not a lot, but if you know, it's a start. It's a start. That's cool how you do your camera. Yeah, so G.Lo, I wanted to tell you. Oh, hey Andrew, what's up? I wanted to tell you that their OBS has just more options on how you can do it, layering and stuff. On StreamYard, you can layer things. You can make it look all crazy. You can do things like, you can do things like different stuff. But I couldn't do exactly what I was trying to do with the 2 screens. Anyway, I could probably do something similar, to be honest, with 2 computers, since I have both computers, and you could even add your phone in if you wanted a third one using StreamYard. So there's a lot of options with StreamYard if you have multiple devices, for sure. Yeah, just don't like. Let's see, put up some comments here. Andrew, what's up? Use OBS for years. Yeah. See, I'm not an expert on OBS, but I do use it quite a bit. People like me. Well, it's faster too, and you can have it preset and just kind of, be ready to go. Let's see, I can actually, you know what? We're gonna share in. I'm gonna play some tunes. I need to relax. It was intense for me. I was trying to fix things, and I was getting upset because it seemed like I wasn't able to get into the conversation. I was being a bitch. I mean, no offense to those that consider themselves bitches, but I was kind of being. I almost started crying, didn't I, G.Lo? I got on there. How do I get in here, Dr. Heath? That's what it felt like. I can hear you. Thanks, Rose. I can hear you. Thanks, nobody. Yeah, I want to get out of the headset, but I guess it's all right for now. I heard you were upset. I was like, the Hulk was about to pop out. I think Dr. Heath could too. Dr. Heath, if you're watching right now, brother, I appreciate you. I just, for some reason, I was like, well, how do I kept putting my hand up. And also, I don't know if any of the buttons are working because I'm on the PC. We all know that X spaces on the PC is not necessarily desirable. You almost got inappropriate with me. Were you going to push me harder or were you going to snap back at me? What were you going to say? I don't think the mic was on at the time. Well, I wasn't sure, Rose. That's the other thing. I couldn't even tell if they could hear me for a little bit. But it was, yeah. And then there was all this static and background noise while it was happening. Like for them, at least for the viewers, I couldn't hear it until I turned my phone up. I could hear. Oh, I was like, oh, that's bad. G.Lo, I think I sent the link already. If you felt like coming up, no worries. If you can't, let me go make sure though, just in case. I don't think I did actually. Let me put it in there just in case for the fun of it. I don't want to suck you guys back into another longer conversation. Thanks. Oh, what? That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to. There we go. Thanks, Dr. Heath. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was being a bitch. Sorry. I was kind of melting down for a second. Where did I miss you guys? Glad I got it fixed. Yeah, see, so for next time, I know what I can do, or at least a few things, ways around it. So you get from multitasking. That's all good. You're a pro. Well, I did figure it out. Thanks. Yeah, Cullen and G.Lo. I'm gonna for next time. I think I might do a few like practice ones myself, and they may not. It might not be like a lot of people showing up for the space part of it, but I might do it like on like the way I am now and just have like the space as a smaller section of the screen. And anyway, we'll see how it works. Missing my million-mile-an-hour comments. No, I'm not. I think I got them. Graphics. Oh, I actually am in the wrong brand at the moment. Need to go back to my brand. This is how I have them set up. Do you think I should have a solid color there surrounding your comment, or is the faded color? Let's see, I forgot how to change the settings. Over here, maybe. No. Interesting. Forgot. Is it banners? No. Brand kit. It's got to be in the brand kit. Let's see. Brand color. Okay, I can change the color. I can do full. I can do like a blocky. Do blocky. Look at this one. Like this one. I like that. I like simple. Steve-O, come on up, man. If you got a minute, come up and we'll have a. I'm gonna shut off the X maybe, and we'll have a little medicinal intake. I try not to connect that to Dr. Heath in any way. Although I think I had the Dab and Dragon up here on the screen for a second. Sorry, Dr. Heath. Doing all this on StreamYard and OBS. Yes. Steve-O, yeah, we got to talk to you, Steve-O. We need to, G.Lo, you need to come up. Steve-O, you need to come up. We need to talk to you about this. Let me, well, Steve-O's got the link, but let me put the link in Facebook in case anybody wants to come up here. Not wearing any cloths. Come on, put your, grass skirt on or whatever, and come on with it, brother. informative. Did you catch some of it, Kim? Okay, I saw you in here earlier. I saw that you were talking. I couldn't really interject, but I saw your comments about the giveaways, and I did put them up on screen. And it definitely is worth mentioning the giveaway fatigue for sure. Let me see if I can. And we'll have a little put them up on screen. Let's see, do that just in case anybody wants to pop up on the Facebook side. You need to come up. I don't know if you knew this, but you hit the clapping. You hit the clapping sounds. You never won anything from me. Didn't I tell you I was going to offer you a giveaway for one of your shows since I forgot to get you on a list one night or something like that? Yeah, Steve-O was hit the clapping button and it just interrupted Dr. Heath. He wasn't mad or anything, but everyone was like, "Whoa!" just like interrupted the. It was funny, but you never been a speaker before, so I was happy to see you up there, and then you left. I don't know. Did you get booted or something? I was seeing what the buttons were. Yeah, just a rookie move. That's all. Yeah, Dr. Heath was like, "What a heck?" Yeah, what a heck. Fix that screen a little bit there. It was funny, but then you left. I was like, wait, I tried to get Steve-O in here to speak. Workers need to set up and push their way. Step up and push their way, yeah. Push their way in, yeah, for sure. Well, he did, didn't he? He was like, you know what? I'm getting in here. Psh. Getting in. I tried. I should have just started speaking more assertive, you know. Where's the link? It's on. I just posted it, didn't I? Yeah, it's right here. Pin it. Boom. It's pinned. And Waylon started whining. I was like, but I thought I was a co-host. Listen, G.Lo, I hadn't had any medicine yet at that point. And so then I shut my camera off, took a little of my medicines, and then I came back in. I took a little too much of my medicines, and then I could hear myself because at the time I didn't realize I could use the same mic for both. I'm using my headset for both, right? So I didn't know that at the time. I had this mic on, and I was talking to through my other computer, and so I could hear myself through the mic. And I had just taken my medicines. Keep that in mind. And I was just like, trying to keep that straight was, I gotta admit, it was tough. So the replay probably is a little funny around that moment there. Well, and that's the thing, G.Lo. You gotta be able to take the hits when you admit defeat. Let people, make fun of yourself when the time comes, when the time is right. Like everyone gets to speak and there's no interruption. Yeah, basically it's no one's coughing and hacking. Yeah, well, we could do that more on StreamYard if I could remember just to like mention it every time, like remember to be more forceful about it. Kids, if you wasn't a grown and with kids, I'd be easier on you. Hey, listen, no, I'm not asking for anybody to be easy on me. So self-deprecating humor is the way to go. Held back on me or just in general? No, you weren't. What were you holding back on, G.Lo? Come on, let it fly. We're still on X right now in general, yeah. Well, I was too. I had a lot to say, but that's like that could be going all day, really. And a lot of people covered basically the same thing. Although we got off topic a little bit, but it wasn't necessarily the space title wasn't a topic about giveaways, but we came in there with that as our as our main topic. So, but all in all, I think we hit it pretty good, and we hit some other things like mobile streaming and stuff. That's a tough one. Mobile streaming is not easy. All right. Well, I'm just gonna pull her up here since G.Lo's still hanging out. I don't want to be. See, I can do this. I can do this here. We can still talk for a moment while I don't want to hurt anyone's virgin eyes or anyone's sensibilities. Comedy I was holding back. Oh, right. Arnold sounds. The standard. I really like X. Liking X. Yeah, bro. Steve-O, I saw you posting. Just remember, reply to other big accounts. Reply to accounts. Go to the home and just scroll down. You'll find big accounts that you've heard of, people you know, people you don't know, and just if you have something to say, if you see a good way to reply. Who in the heck is that guy? That's me, G.Lo, at about 14. So no, I wasn't using cannabis then. I wasn't drinking. I wasn't doing anything. Hey, we got Kim coming in to hang out. Are you walking around? Okay. Are you hanging out at the house?
Yeah, I'm working on paperwork here.
I see.
Like I don't know what I do with my phone stand. I have like a little stand that I use for my phone. And then here in my home office, I don't know where the freak I put my thing. So I don't have to stand here and hold it.
Now there's two of me.
I thought that was a pretty interesting thing. A lot of it's over my head just because like you guys are leaps and bounds ahead of me with all of this stuff, you know.
Yeah. It's a lot of it is that I have the time, and so I realize that that's a bit of an advantage.
Yeah, but you also have like you also have a pretty good understanding of technology, which maybe because you have time, like you can suss things out a little more, and figure things out, things that are more complex, but you have a pretty good grasp on technology and stuff like that. So I think it really helps you be successful to get where you've gotten so far, if that makes sense. Are you there?
Oh, sorry.
You
can hear me now. You can hear me now. My bad.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Have a good day, G.Lo. We're going to go ahead and close off X so that way I can feel more comfortable doing my dabs and on the screen. Sorry, Xers. But I didn't want to connect this to Dr. Heath too much if I'm doing a bunch of stuff that he's not privy or not a fan. You know what I mean? So if you're on X watching, please hit the follow button. Check out my content. You don't have to be someone that's a cannabis user to enjoy my content. So come on back, check it out. Okay, removed X. All right, we're back. And hey, it's me again. I'm back here. So yeah, had a lot of people popping through on X, but just didn't feel right, being that I was connected to a space with somebody that, just like when I had Dr. Heath on my show, I didn't smoke that night either. It was like, hey, I can do that. It's respectful.
Yeah. Well, you do have to be
thanks,
respectful
Rose.
of other people, that aren't.
I try. And since my demographic is every person on the planet, I try to be as accommodating as I can, as I also be as forthright with my beliefs and what I do. And cannabis, while I do agree I'm addicted, and I do agree it's a drug in a lot of ways, maybe not certain ways, but mostly. And I just, as long as I'm out with that and open about it, I feel like we can have a discussion. And Dr. Heath and I, we have a lot of discussions about it, actually. It comes up from time to time from other speakers that come up. And we end up both mentioning each other, going, and Waylon and I have talked about this, and da 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 da. And so it's something that people who don't use cannabis often think about too, because they bump into us, and it's kind of a conversation starter. Cheers.
I think that all the times people in the cannabis community, at least the people that we encounter or that we talk to or deal with on a day-to-day basis or whatever, are so used to cannabis being a big part of our lives, our day-to-day walk in life, that we don't think about that other people may not be on the same wavelength. You know what I mean? That there's people out there that don't use, that don't believe in using, or
Well, even worse,
whatever.
not only don't believe in using, but believe that it's a severe detriment to your life because
Right.
they know people who are in that percent of people who maybe that's their crutch, maybe cannabis is their crutch, but that person is maybe a useless person in general, like sit around all day, never being able to do anything for themselves, whatever it is. And I don't mean anyone disabled. I just mean like, that sort of like the lazy bum stoner mentality, right? That we all that stereotype, we
Yeah.
know it, and that is what a lot of times people will base their whole thinking off of when they know that one person. But what's funny is they don't give it any two thoughts when they're listening to Joe Rogan or the fact that Elon Musk smokes some weed on the screen, like whether you like those two people or not. But I'm saying famous people like Obama, we smoked it, and we inhaled it or whatever. Like a lot of famous people have talked about it and have talked about using it, and so you can totally contrast that with all the negative stereotypes that people sort of conjure up. The straw man, I guess, is what it would be.
Yeah.
Colin.
Well, it's really hard to change reputations, change people's perceptions.
That's that,
Um,
Colin.
I work at a high school. The high school that I work at, when it was first built, was built out on the East Mesa in my community. And it was built in an area of very, very poor Mexican people. We're talking about people that were gangbangers, drug runners. They were literally what we call colonias out here, which were just places where people parked trailers. They didn't have running water, and you had thousands of people that lived out here like that.
Just kind of
And
pop up communities. I see.
yeah, I guess you could say as a pop-up community of sorts. But so the school, when it was built, it's a beautiful school. It looks like a mall, literally. It's 2 stories. It looks like a mall. If you were to see it, it looks like a mall. That's what we all thought it was at first when it was first being built. But it drew off of that area. The district that the school sits in, that's where those kids went to high school, was the school that I work at. But it didn't just draw off of my area, it also drew off of very affluent neighborhoods as well. But the reputation of the school was that it was the gangbanger school. And that was built in 1996, I want to say, is when the school was built. And to this day, here we are, I don't know, was that 30 years? 30 years later almost? We're still fighting that stigma attached to our school, that it's a gangbanger school. Even though it is now surrounded by some of the most affluent houses in our community, it still has that damaged image. It's not as bad as it once was, because we've had a lot of people move here that know nothing about all of that history. But it's hard. You have a lot of old people with old memories of stuff. And, I use that as an illustration of how it is with cannabis. It's going to take a long time for a very large segment of our population to be comfortable in any way with the legalization of cannabis. And I think that that's what we're running into politically in Congress, because, that's where everything is hinged on. And it's typically, when you look at populations of, voting blocks, it's typically the conservatives that are, the holdouts on the cannabis. And that's what conservatives are. I'm a conservative. We don't change easily. We're very, we don't particularly like change like that. That's what
Well, that's
conservative
not
is.
what that's about, though. Conservatism is about conserving the things that are good, that should be conserved. A lot of people don't call themselves conservative also don't like change. That's a human thing.
Yes, but the Conservative Party
What
is,
conservative party?
well, the traditional Conservative Party. We don't have it has changed dramatically in the
Big
last
tent
year.
over now of like people on the right. It's a big tent now. You got different people of all sorts, disaffected liberals, all sorts of people from
Yeah.
that get accused of all kinds of nasty things from the other side are the same ones that created this propaganda. Maybe you think in 1930s. I think that was a thing with the paper companies, and I want to say oil had to do with it too because of hemp oil, but I know it was paper companies. 1935, you had the what is that weed? What was it? Not the weed mania. What was the name of the video?
I don't know. I haven't seen that, to be honest with you.
Propaganda. Yeah, it was like it was called something else though. It was shit, I can't remember the name of it, but it was just this video like to make you think you'll just go insane if you smoke cannabis.
Right. Well,
They also was anti-Mexican at the time. They called it marijuana, and there was a whole program of being anti-Mexican. So they're gonna
Yeah.
come over here and they're gonna bring their marijuana with them.
Yeah.
Be careful, and that was it. But maybe you're right, Colin. I don't know if that was coming from conservative people in general, but I know it was an industry thing too.
I will say,
But let's be honest though, conservatism, and well, let's just be real about it. The strong religious people it's a pendulum. It swings, right? It goes from witch trials of insanity because God said so or something to all the way to where you have the Pope saying gay marriage is cool. So like it's a pendulum, right? And I think if you consider yourself spiritual in general and you see that you feel like there's something bigger than yourself out there, a lot of times you're going to hold yourself a little bit more accountable in general. So you don't have to be Christian to have some sort of higher power to believe in or whatever it is. And I feel like that in general is good. And so for me to my personal beliefs is like I think about what I want and what I believe, and then I match that up to in general group, if not to say I agree with everything that group says, right?
yeah.
Because I'm mostly libertarian, except you have to have some structure and you have to have some recourse, like
Yeah.
California letting people just go in stores, and as long as it's under $1,000 you can steal whatever you want and no one can say anything about it. That's like, what? I mean, you could just go from store to store to store in one day and you've just gone through on a shopping spree for 20 grand.
And there's no
Like,
accountability
well,
for
like,
it.
how does that make anyone any sense? The only thing that makes sense is that they want it to make things worse. They want it to purposely break things down, and that makes perfect sense if you look at it that. Well, reefer madness. Thanks, Rose, very much. Appreciate that.
I
Cigarettes
don't know that
kill people, but they don't care. Yeah, see, it's all about whose money's behind it and all that good stuff. People still
Well,
show up on sponsored ads on Facebook with cigarettes, no problem. Go ahead, Kim. Sorry.
So there was a religious group. So one of the things that we had prohibition, right, with alcohol, and then it was later repealed. And the socio-political stuff that was going on behind that was, of course, it happened around World War I. So all the men were off fighting, but what was left behind were women that were against alcohol. And it was a lot of it was, it was women driven, and it was a lot of it was also behind it was religion. And so that's how we got alcohol, how it got passed for alcohol to be.
Isn't it funny how slow or how fast that went, though, from prohibition to legalization?
What do you mean with alcohol?
With alcohol, yeah.
Well, yeah, because
way
it was
longer for cannabis.
impossible to police all that shit. It was tearing our country apart. Like, there's so many cultures. Like, I know the Irish culture for sure.
It's the same way with cannabis.
You can't. Yeah, but these are ancient things. Like, if you look at the Irish culture, like alcohol, beer, is a very big thing in their culture, and it's been that way for centuries. Maybe since the beginning. I don't know. I've never
I would
looked
say
at
cannabis is close to that too, but not for
Yeah, but
not
it's
for
always
Anglo people,
yeah.
but more for I would say I know Native Americans used it for a long time, but I think it's been around longer than that. It's been in the Middle East. They call it hashish. Like it's probably been there for a very long time. Anyway, I'm
Right.
not trying to argue with you. I just like to bring it up because cannabis has been with us for a long time.
Yeah, but I want to say that I think it's because cannabis hasn't been, we have our biggest influence in this country has been European, specifically German.
Yeah.
And I want to say it probably cannabis wasn't such a big, wasn't, I want to say it probably ran into the acceptability because it wasn't something that was used by Europeans, would be my guess. Probably,
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird because we went straight to that tobacco plant. We're like, what's this? Tobacco twist? Oh, let's make it up. Let's do it. We love it. Like, I wonder what it was that that just kept us away from it so long. Because we know, and here's the other thing, we don't really have many stories about it before it went illegal because we know this. This is the only thing that I can say for sure is that we commonly in the United States before it became illegal, we commonly had it in our medicine cabinets. It was called cannabis. It was called cannabis in your medicine cabinets for numbing, for medicinal reasons. And
I personally think what it was, and it's just some of the literature that I've seen from that time period. People would see how people acted once they used it, and I think that the stigma evolved from there.
You're
And,
saying
you don't
alcohol wasn't worse? Come on, like the old school like every trope of every like middle ages movie with the knights and stuff, and you go to the drinking hall or whatever, or even Vikings, like people get crazy, they get happy, they basically the same thing. I mean, it's very similar. That's why people like to lump them together, even though I think you have more faculties when you're on cannabis than you do when you drink a ton of ale. But maybe
I get pretty stupid when I smoke indica, man. Me and indica.
I get ridiculous when I'm drunk. I'm not a good drunk, that's for sure.
Oh, well, I'm a good drunk, but I'm ridiculous when it comes to indica, man. That's why I don't smoke it. It fucks me up really, really bad. Like, I don't react to it like a lot of people do. It's just not a thing for me. But I can see, like, these religious factors, they can't get rid of. I don't know. I think there's probably more undercurrents to why cannabis was less acceptable. It might have been because it was coupled with Mexicans. Because I know during that period of time as well, there was a real dislike. I don't know a good word.
Oh, wasn't it? There were clashes, or there was unrest between America and Mexico still, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
well, yeah,
that's
there
part
was,
of it.
but I think it was deeper than that. I think that I don't know. There was a lot of stuff that was going on related to looked at Mexico, and you're right, it could have been because we still had, you know,
These
it might have
famous
been too
battles,
close
you
to
know,
the,
they were really,
yeah,
yeah, like Custer's Last Stand or whatever. Wasn't that with was that with the Native Americans or with Mexicans? Either
that was
way, I
Native
think Native
American.
Americans started working lot more with Mexicans though, as we were
Well, I
colonizing more of the states. Not if I'm not mistaken.
what did happen with so here's what happened to Native Americans that didn't go on reservations. If you were a Native, because this is a good friend of mine is a Apache, and but they never, for a long time, they didn't recognize in their family, they didn't recognize that indigenous. And I think the reason why is because it was around the time of those Indian
Colleen.
removal acts, Homesteading Act, and stuff like that. If you were Native American,
Cutting out
you
a little bit.
subsumed into the Mexican culture or the Spanish culture, one of the two.
They
And
changed that so many times. Like Mexicans were white at one point. That
well,
was
they
like
still are considered white. They're considered white because of the Europeans. So if you go
it
to
depends
fill
on
out
what you're.
paperwork,
Yeah.
if you go to fill out paperwork with the federal government, I don't know about state government, it might vary, but with federal government, the way that they track statistics is that you're considered white, and then there's a separate box. You check white for your race, I think it is, and then they ask you if you are like of Hispanic culture or something like that, and then that's how they
I do see that
identify you as
sometimes.
Latino.
Yeah. I actually have
So
I actually have Spanish and I have Native American in me, and it wasn't because of a Mexican descendant. It was actually not descendant, but a ancestor. But it was actually because, and my sister did a lineage test in high school, and I didn't get to see it, so I'm just going off of this. Maybe this is completely wrong, but she found that there was a Spanish princess, like some great some odd great grandmothers back in our line. We had a Spanish princess. Yeah, so that's kind of fun. So if you all want to refer to me as His Highness the Indoor Farmer, or you know the I don't know. There's a couple. There's other ways to say it. Let me think. His Highness or His
your
Indoor
Majesty.
Highness. Yes, your Indoor Majesty, the farmer. They also ask if you were a boy or a girl now. Yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah,
Your
or what you
Highness.
identify as or whatever.
El Capitan, the farmer. Capitan. Well, you know, things change, but we
You
can say that. What?
want to hear something?
Sure. I'm gonna probably get going in about 10 minutes.
So speaking of like royalty in the family, like I literally am descendants of like Henry VIII would have been a cousin. I come from the Plantagenet line.
Hmm.
I have a
Henry.
very historic family.
I'm Henry VIII. I am something. There's more words to that song. I want to thank you guys, Colin, Rose, anyone else that's hanging out, Colleen.
But I don't have any Spanish in my
Ayla.
family. I do have Italian. That shows up. But I knew about that. So I have like my mom's family are French, Italian, and German more recently. And then my dad's family are English. There's a little Scottish in there, English Scottish. And Axtell was
Sherry, thank you.
originally like, I think we originally came from Sweden. My ancestors were Vikings that came, the Vikings that came into England.
Da Wiedersehen.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what language they spoke. Dude, I was watching
Auf Wiedersehen.
I had my TV on and I have a streaming service and I was checking it out. It had like a music channel, so I was flipping through the music channels and I don't remember how I got into it, but it had music, Viking kind of music, like indigenous, whatever the hell you call it, Norwegian music or something like that. I go, oh, I wonder what, I wonder what my people listen to, right? So I go into it. Oh my God, that music was scary as hell. I'm sitting there in my living room and I'm like looking around and I'm like, is this gonna summon some kind of a freaking demon? Or like, I tune into that music in the middle of the night. It would scare the shit out of me. I'm not kidding. It was creepy as hell.
So I have an idea here, and I thought about doing this for a while. It's for fun, support my education, spend time. I'm going through this questionnaire here. I was thinking of doing this live with everybody, and starting to do this like once in a while live. But I'm gonna continue learning Portuguese live with everybody. What do you guys think about that? Sherry, thank you for the 50 stars. Do you mean Scandinavian? Yeah, Scandinavian. Yeah, Switzerland would definitely. I don't think be Vikings, but maybe descendants of Vikings. Crystal, hello. Happy Saturday. I'm English. Cullen says I'm English, Balkan, Scandinavian, and Liberian. Okay. Da would be like Russian, right? But then like Swedish, I believe Swedish is Auf Wiedersehen. Maybe I'm wrong though.
Yeah, I
Auf
don't know.
Wiedersehen. Auf Wiedersehen. Maybe I will learn from Duolingo. What do you guys think? A less known fact is that most descendants of Vikings have lots of facial hair or body hair. It's an evolutionary adaptation from battle. From battle or from like being in the cold? I guess battle would make more sense because
You
Eskimos.
you might have Viking in you because you're of Scottish descent. Well, Scottish and
Yeah.
Irish, right?
Yeah.
And those Vikings were all over that region. It's real common for people in that area to have Viking blood, from what I understand. At least looking at the Halpo groups that they use, that's how they identify where you're from. Is by Halpo groups. What, Mimi?
Wow.
So what are you up to today, Waylon?
Well, I am about to do a lesson on Duolingo with everybody here. Start from scratch, find my level, because on my phone I am on, let's see. Let's find out what level I'm on. Oh, actually, I don't think it's on here anymore. My old phone. So, I'm just going to have to find my level here.
O que você come?
O que você come? Wait. Allow this time, allow on every visit, now allow, never allow. I know this is gonna be fun. I think people are gonna come in for this. Can I? How do I do it? Oops. O que você come? Hey, it works.
De quanto sal você precisa?
Ooh, these are words I don't know actually.
De você. De.
Skip.
De quem é o casaco?
De quem é o casco? When and how? I don't know. I know y como, but I don't know when. When. I don't know that one.
Ela cozinha o quê?
Ela cozinha o quê?
Quem tem uma pergunta?
Quem tem uma pergunta? Let's see.
Pregunta is a question.
I don't know this one.
Perguntem.
I know this is. Someone has a question.
What are they saying?
She?
Tango? Tango pregunta or?
Cum. Quem. I think it's maybe she. She has a question. Oh, it was close.
Onde eu escrevo? Onde eu escrevo? Onde eu escrevo?
Onde. Really?
Onde eu
I see.
escrevo?
I see.
Onde eu escrevo?
Yeah, Portuguese is an interesting language. It's like a mixture of Spanish and something. Spanish and French or Spanish and I don't know.
Qual é o meu casaco?
It's not. It's like they say it's closer to English actually than Spanish, because Spanish people they don't like Portuguese language, and
Nope.
a lot of people confuse the two, and they say you're speaking Spanish, but you're speaking, So there's a whole thing between the two, and from what I've heard anyway.
Yeah.
Let's
Meu
see.
casaco. Qual?
I don't know what the first
Qual?
word was. Qual. It must be he. No, I was wrong with that last time. Must be don't know it.
Nós lemos a resposta. Nós lemos. Nós lemos a resposta.
A resposta. I don't know what that one is.
What is it? What is
Resposta. Got it. Type the missing word. Case. Supposta. Sepultos. I don't know what the missing question is. I'm not there yet. This is just
Cadê o meu queijo?
trying to find out where my level is, and then it'll start. It'll go from there after I fill this bar. Let's see.
Cadê o meu queijo?
Cadê? I know. I have a friend on X now that's Portuguese, and so he was running a space the other day. I'm excited to get to talking with them more. Let's see.
Cadê o meu queijo?
What made you decide to try and learn Portuguese out of all languages?
I got to know someone on Facebook that's from Portuguese. That's from Brazil, I should say, not from Portugal. We've got a good storm brewing. Need to run. Okay, have a good day, Sherry. Thank you for popping in. Thank you for the 50 stars. Select the correct meaning. Meaning of what? Oh, for answer. I don't know.
Resposta.
But I got it right. Resposta. That's the answer. Which one of these is the question? Let's see. Well, I mean, there's one that has a question mark. Am I supposed to pick that? The question. As meninas. Oh, that's two girls. That's meninas. That's menino. Oh, that's meninos. Those are boys. That's girls. And that's.
Pergunta.
Just had to read it. I wasn't reading it.
Yeah, I can't see. I'm on my phone, so it's like minuscule.
If you turn your phone sideways, you can see it more, and then you can also zoom in. on your phone. How many books does he have? I only see one. What am I looking at here? Not sure what I'm supposed to do. How many books does he have? Livros Elitem. It's how many is what I'm supposed to find, but I don't know what.
I took my dog and got him groomed today.
Oh, I see.
It's my dog now.
Huh. I don't know how to do this, how to respond here, so I gotta keep going. How many bags do you have? I don't know how to do this one either.
Well, it's asking you for a number.
No, I'm supposed to put in the words that I'm supposed to translate this. I'm translating it, yeah.
So what are your word choices?
You can zoom in. Here, let me actually, I got you.
So bolsas are bags.
I mean, I don't want you to tell me the answers.
Cuantas is
But you're
quantity.
going to anyway. I believe it would be Tame. How many?
Quantas?
Quantas.
Bolsas.
Bolsas. Tame quantas bolsas.
Lê. Você.
Oh, see, this is supposed to be here.
Do you have to use all the words?
No.
Oh.
That's dog. That's A. I think I got it right. Nope. This I want to see the answer. Oh, it's not going to show me the. Oh, correct. Okay.
It doesn't give you the correct answer?
Oh no, I had one too many words in there. Lei.
De quanto sal você precisa?
Yeah, be safe, Jerry. What's the 8 for, Colin? Oh, the number. He said. De quanto sal você precisa? It's been a while. I'm pretty rusty. I just thought I should. This would help me get back into it if I can make it fun and everybody could make fun of me trying to do this. Let's see. De quanto salt do you need? Oh, see. How much, maybe? Do you need? Yeah, this is it. Got it. I'm a genius. When and how? When? I don't know this. I don't understand what I'm supposed to do here. I'm just supposed to type it in. I don't know what these buttons are down here.
When and how?
I don't understand what this. Oh, these are just like the special characters that I wouldn't have on my keyboard. That's what these are for. I understand. I'm supposed to just know the word. I don't know the word for when yet, so.
Quem tem uma pergunta?
Not by heart. It's not, and that's the lesson. I don't need to just get the right answer. I need to learn the lesson.
Yeah.
Kim Tim uma pergunta. Kim, maybe Kim is where. Oh, this is how I'll know. Where has a fork? Who has a fork? No.
Pregunta is a question.
Who has a question? Stop helping me, Kim.
Qual é o meu casaco?
Well, you've had Pregunta before.
Yeah, but I didn't remember it was
didn't
the question. I remember the answer, no, but the word answer, but qual é meu casaco? You won't repeat it.
Qual é o meu casaco?
Qual é o macaco? What? What? Okay, let's see. Is he is how is he my brother? Oh. Which is my coat? Which is my coat? How was I supposed to get that? That's not even a sentence we would say here. I touched my phobe. Touched my phobie. You're welcome back up, Kim. It's no worries. Is my coat lion? But yeah, I don't get that one, Colin. Which is my coat? Which one is my coat? They're trying to I think I get it. They're trying to get me to learn the least words possible in order to say be able to speak to someone. I kind of get that, I think.
I touched my damn phone and it went bye-bye.
Which shoes are mine? Zapatos. I don't think this is right. It's Sal. Salazar. I see. How many books does he have? How many? We just did this. It's like Q something. I forget what it was.
What are your word choices?
There's no choices in this one. This is the one that I have to just know how to spell the word.
Oh.
Quantos. Yeah. I'm doing too many things, but that's okay though. Once you get through this, you can actually do practice nonstop. The way that the app works is they want you to pay to be a super member so that you can play as much as you want, or not play, but learn as much as you want. But otherwise, you're limited to so many lessons. But after your limit is over with, you can go back to the practice area. There's a practice area, and you can practice all day long. And that helps you really refine the stuff that you've already learned. And I wouldn't practice all day long. I only do this for 10, 20 minutes a day, do a lesson or something.
Yeah.
Once I get where I'm supposed to be at anyway. How many?
Quantas?
I remember it now. Bags.
Bolsas.
Do
Lê.
you
Você
have?
tem.
I don't need lay. What's lay? I need to get lay out of there. I don't even know what that word is. I just think it means do or something. When and how? I don't know when again. It's something with a Q, but I can't remember it. I want to know the right answer, so I'm just going to push anything. Quando. Quantas and quando. Quando.
Qual é o meu casaco?
Qual é o meu casaco? Well, which is my coat? Oh, this is the refresh to go through the ones I missed. Let's see. Which shoes are mine? Boom. How many books does he have? How many is cuantos? ¿Cuántos libros tiene? Boom. There it is. How many bags do you have? Well, listen, I don't know how many bags I have. But I know how
Quantas?
many bags you have.
Você.
One under each eye.
Você tem.
Boom. When and how? When? It's Quandu, right? Quandu.
Telling you, you get
I think
mad.
I'm spelling it wrong. Yes. Thank you very much. Ta-da! Lesson complete. 68%. 68%. Yes, it is, Colin. Yes, it is. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. All daily quests complete. Earn 10 XP. Thank you. You've earned 5 gems. Take it. Day 1 streak. On a streak. What's a streak? I know what a streak is. Thank you. Up. That's just a way for them
That's
to get you to
something
keep
you get
going.
in trouble for when you do in public.
Yes, I can attest to that. I did the only streaking I've done is we did the skinny dipping. A bunch of us kids, we were like 20, you know, around this. I was like maybe 18. This lake at about 2 o'clock in the morning in January. It was
Oh my
not
God.
a good time of
No.
the time, but I was the only male that decided to do it. There's a few women. All the other dudes were just chickens, and
Was this while you were in the military?
I think I was in already, but I hadn't been overseas yet.
Was it in Illinois?
Yes.
In January in Illinois, you're streaking in water in a lake?
Yeah, it was. There was ice on the lake.
You're crazy, dude. You're lucky you didn't freeze your cojones off.
Cojones. I'm not learning Mexican right now. Just kidding.
That's not Mexican. That's
Becca.
Spanish. Mexican is not a language; it's a culture.
I know. That's why I was log in. I don't think I'll be able to remember my login. Let's see. We'll try it though. I'm gonna have to put it down here. We'll see if I can get in there. Forgot. Account not found. Seriously?
I take it you don't have your son this weekend.
That is correct.
You're a free man.
Yep, man, I'm spending it with you guys. Hey, I found it.
Aw.
Check my email.
What, Mina me? Are you hungry? Is that what you're telling me? Grumpy cat. You're sassy today. She's feeling good today, man. She's been zipping around the house.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Never felt so free, he said. Becca, you want to come up and smoke? I used to do a different sport while streaking every day, every New Year's when I was younger. Around my block, skates, bikes, etc. You would streak around a block on your skates. All right, I have to come up with a new password real quick here. Oh. Let's real quickly check my other passwords to see if I don't actually have one written down for it already. That would be
You write your passwords down?
on paper, yeah. It's more secure than your phone is.
Oh yeah, for sure. I memorize my passwords.
I've got like 3 pages of passwords, Kim. I can't do that.
Holy crap, why do you have so many
I
passwords?
got way more passwords than that. I just haven't written them all down yet. I actually I deleted my notes off my old phone, but that's where most of them were. I stopped doing that.
Why do you have so many passwords?
Because I do a lot of things and stuff and
Don't
such.
you have the same password for why don't you just have a
Why would you do that? Are you a teacher or not?
yeah?
Why would you ever tell anyone to just have the same password for everything?
Well, I have like 4 passwords and they're insanely long. They're like 20 characters long. So good luck figuring my passwords out.
Well, once they get one, they've got them all. Once I've got a little bit more of a subscriber base and such, and maybe more, wherever I'm making any more money at doing this, I think I would put some money into the there's a thing called identity lock, or what is it?
Oh yeah.
It's where like they just are a company that helps to make sure that you don't get all your shit. I mean, you might actually still get your shit taken, but they mostly can get things back for you, and they can. It's not a 100% though. That's all. It's like
I went through identity theft when I moved out to California, because when I moved out there, I had my mail forwarded, and they forwarded it to the wrong apartment. And the apartment complex that I had moved into was not a good one. I didn't realize that until after I'd moved into it. And then I moved pretty like right away, but I'm in the pool one day just lounging around at summertime, and I get a phone call from my bank, and somebody had taken out about $3,000.
Thanks, Dixon.
And it was years of hell trying to get rid of that identity theft shit, man. It was crazy. But they didn't get it from my password. They got it because they got my personal, like my bank account. They got my bank, like my bank statement. They had all of my stuff. So that was not a fun thing.
Oh, wrong password. What?
Still doing your thing, or you trying
It's
to get logged
saying
back
that the
in?
password I just set was incorrect.
Oh.
Update password. Okay, there we go. Got it. Colin, just by looking in the bumper of someone's car, can usually determine how many kids they have, what kind of sports. Yeah, you can determine a bunch of things. That's true.
Oh, to answer the questions?
No, yeah, well, to like, yeah, that's true. Yep, I wasn't thinking about that, but I just meant like identity theft in general, to like know information about you.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's right though. They could take that and try to answer passwords with that.
Yeah, my passwords are not like phrases. They're a string of characters, and there's like all kinds of shit in my passwords. Like symbols and all kinds of random stuff. Nothing personally identifiable.
Well, so that's right. This is exactly where where I'm at, because I recovered my password and stuff. So this is actually where I was at on my phone.
O aluno novo. Zari e Lili estão no ônibus da escola.
Lili, tem um aluno novo na nossa classe.
Okay.
O nome dele é Miguel.
Okay.
What does it say?
Her brother's name is Miguel.
No, but what did she say?
There's a new student named Miguel in her
Oh,
class.
it's auditory.
Miguel?
Miguel?
Ele é do México.
Yeah, they do it in Mexico. Oh, is this?
O pai dele escreve livros. Muito interessante.
I think it's this one.
Ele fala português, inglês e espanhol.
This says I speak Portuguese, English, and Spanish.
Oh, nice.
Ele é inteligente.
You're intelligent.
Inteligente. E
Intelligent.
alto. E ele tem lindos.
And something I have. Lindos. Oh, it's giving me an option when I put my mouse over it, but I don't think that's the right option. He's intelligent and young. He's intelligent and tall. It's one of those two.
Lindos?
Maybe like that sounds like tall to me. Yes.
Sim.
Haha, yes.
Lindos sapatos.
Tall and smart.
Zari, o Miguel está atrás de você.
Choose the option that means behind. Está?
Oi, Miguel.
Oi, Miguel.
Oi, Lili.
Oi,
Tudo
Lili.
bem?
Tudo bem?
Tudo bem,
Tudo bem, obrigada.
Miguel, essa é minha amiga Zari. Ela gosta dos seus
Ela gosta dos
sapatos.
seus sapatos.
Oi, Miguel.
Oi, Miguel. Let's see, what is it? Oh no, Zari is embarrassed because she forgot to do her homework. Miguel's shoes are very ugly. No, she didn't know that Miguel was behind her. Boom.
Boom.
Let's see, select the matching pairs. Okay, need to zoom out a little bit for this. Friend, bus, thank you, behind, and writers. Well, we know what behind is because we just did that. So we want to hit that. Obrigada is thank you. I know that one. Escrivi is right. Okay, we got that one. I'm going to go ahead and say that's bus, right? And then amigo is friend. Hello. You've heard the animated cartoon, yeah. Story complete. The stories are the hard ones. Boom, got some more XP, got me some more gems. Got my streak completed. If anybody's popping through now, just so you know, I did broadcast a space from X earlier for a couple hours, but now we're playing. So then if you can go, say if I used all my hearts, I only have 5 hearts, you can win back some hearts sometimes by watching ads and such, and I don't love to do that. But there's another thing you can do. Where is it? Oh yeah, practice. So you can go to practice, and let's see, conversation, daily. So maybe they're saying, okay, yeah, see, look, 30 plus mistakes I made. And so I can go through here, just keep going through my mistakes, review my vocabulary, so I can do different things and go back to stories. So you don't have to pay. Sorry for Duolingo. Probably don't like that, but it is what it is.
You know what you should do is like learn one word, what it means, and then like substitute it in your conversations that you have with people.
How can I do that? They wouldn't know what I was saying.
That's okay. They'll learn. They'll say what?
I could be like,
Because they'll say what, and then you'll tell them.
I'm about to leave my house or a casa. I'll just do
Or
it like
what?
that. A casa.
Yeah, a casa. Your house is a casa. I'm about to leave my whatever.
I have
Like,
to find my
here.
keys or a chavi. I could do one word at a time like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and just work
This
it
helps
into
though. I really like this app. If I keep up with it, it keeps me going with it. But it doesn't really teach me conversation just yet. Like it does, but I'm not there yet. I'm on, let's see, I'm on level formal and plurals. I'm on level 7 actually. This is level 7, section 7. So I went through all of this. Wait, you guys aren't even looking at it. Sorry. So I'm up here on level, and I'm in the middle of level 7, and I went through all of this already, and that's so I don't really have that much confidence in the stuff I don't know, but I do know some stuff now, you know.
just what do you know?
I can't like tell you I can read. So if you haven't learned another language out there, you start to recognize and read it a lot faster than you can regurgitate it.
Yeah.
So
different part of your brain.
Yeah, it's a different thing. And so I can like if I see it, I could say it. I could say it once I see it, but a lot of times I can't just come up with like a bunch of words. I could say, like it's the afternoon, so it could, boa tarde, tudo bem, and that's good afternoon, how are you? And then I can say good morning, good afternoon, or good night. I can say I don't know. I'm not like trying to just come up with words randomly is hard. But I can say like milk and bread. Oh, pow. Bread is pow. It's like pow right to the kisser.
Is it P-A-U?
One of these P-A-O.
P-A-O.
Or P-O-A maybe. Anyway, it's I forget which direction it's spelled, but but I can say I can say eu falo português, which is I speak Portuguese, or eu falo inglês. Eu falo inglês, which means I speak English. No fala português means I don't speak Portuguese. Can you please help me? I'm American. That's kind of what that means. All right, Kim, I think I'm going to get going, but that was fun, though. It was fun, guys. Let me know. I think Cullen was entertained at least. I'm going to try to, obviously this wasn't the focus of the live, but I want to do more of that. It would, maybe it would inspire other people to learn a language, Could be some good content. I'm going to probably put that on my profile,
You're going to drag people along with you.
Maybe. Might find some new friends. I might find like a whole section of like Facebook live streams that are in like Brazil, and like start me. I get real. I'm very big in Brazil. I am very big in Brazil. Yes. They know me there.
They know me there.
I just act like a Portuguese phone salesman.
Yeah.
I need to take care of a couple of wins throughout the week that happened. It's like Gabrielle and Jess and William all won. William just wins and wins and wins. Appreciate him for being a player. If you want to play this weekend, you're welcome to play. I have to tell Ash. Ash, he might send you as the Grow Fam representative. Who knows?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, just let me know.
Because Ash won last week.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. So I don't know if he's going to be able to play again.
Right. Well, just let me know what's up.
Should hit him
That
up.
way I can get my chores done.
Okay.
Early in the day, you know.
Well, everybody check out Kim tomorrow. Got 2:00 Central Time for Kim's show. Let me shut off this music here. But yeah, I got to get some other work done too. But this has been fun. I did make some progress today, and we got some things done. I actually got to 600 followers on X today. So shouts out to my followers on X. Thank you very much. Oh, Rose, thank you for hanging out. Appreciate you. See you tomorrow for game night, everybody. Have a good day.
Peace
Thanks,
out.
Kim. Peace.
Thanks. Have a one.